Doing good? Let's bring it. Let's bring it. I love when we have top producers in the room. How you saying that?
I know.
Yeah, I love it because guess what? We get to mastermind and get better together. Because there's no perfect way to do anything. We all have our own personality and flavor to everything. It is. Yeah.
Let's put them all on one side of the room.
Sure. All right, so we close. Awesome. Well, this is perfect.
Let's get
Let's go me. Awesome. Let's get started, you guys. This is what's gonna happen. So just so you know, the bathrooms are to the side. We have a lot of people on Zoom. This is good. And today we get to learn from some of our top producers in the office. Earning over $250,000 a year, with both $500,000 a year. So this is good. You get to learn from some of the agents that are doing it. Okay. Awesome. And today we have well, let me have Jay do it. Ms. Jeannie unfortunately got sick, but she did send us all her goodies.
Yeah. So Jenny is sick. She's not here in person, but her team's representing on Zoom. I see all of them on there. So it's really awesome. She did still, even though she's sick, like Sophia said, send over some tips and pointers for you guys. I don't want you to read it off. We have a slide or some notes from her, and she also gave a copy of the listening presentation that you guys can get a copy of. All of you leave a copy of this. Well, actually, I think Kirsten's just going to post it on. Whatever's easier for her, Kirsten.
It will be on the website.
There you go.
I already have it all, so it will be uploaded by the end of the day today.
Like, I need a picture of you in that shirt so that
I know.
It's on the camera.
Oh,
look, you guys.
Look, guys, it says there's a smart plan for that.
I love that. So thank you for that. That is super, super cute.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get some good energy going in the room. I wanted to just give you let's call up our amazing speakers. So let's call up the Gutierrez team. And the one, the only, super kind, but super fierce, Elena Flores.
Jenny's notes, and Jenny and her team give her a shout out for watching her. Sophia should come to you guys yesterday at the Reimagine event, and Nadine is like proof. We're kind of really, really blessed to have Sophia here. And I'm not just saying that because she's my mom, okay? Like, I mean it. Like, she filled a room. Like, I went through all the little rooms throughout the day. They're all, nothing compared to Carmen Union, just saying. Nothing compared to that car. You guys are all going to show up for that. But the only room that was crowded, I didn't come here. I don't know, it was crowded and had people fighting against the crowd. I posted a video on social media, as you can see. It was the class of Sophia, the panel she was on.
It was not just for me, guys. I was, we had the big shot from Compass. That'll be the next real estate on the panel. But I did drop the mic though. Right?
Yeah, so she had a fan club. So we're really blessed that Sophia comes up here, obviously, and then me. Hey, Jay.
Because the Jennifer Brancini, which moderated the actual panel, she is the upcoming CAR president. So she's a president-elect. She'll be installed this year. She'll be the president next year. But I actually have a relationship with her, and she actually shared. You guys were in the room. She actually shared. Oh, I met Sophia at NAR in 2010 when I had my own lending brokerage, and I volunteered. Check this out. Financially, I couldn't afford it, but I volunteered to go to NAR to volunteer at their booth so I can get a free trip to NAR. And when I went there, I was on a mission to not be broke. So she said, oh, she took me to lunch and she grilled me. I showed up with a notepad and all the questions like, hey, you're a top agent in San Francisco up north. Like, how do you do it? What time do you wake up? Where you come from? Like, I had all the questions. So she's like, my memory of Sophia is she grilled me. And if you talk to a lot of the leaders, they'll say the same about me. Like, I was intentional. When I meet with a top producer, I never waste their time. I'm there, I respect their time, and I come prepared to questions. So that was a good learning lesson because she said that. So like it just validated my story that this is how people, right? So it's really cool. Really cool to see that a lot of people are really passionate about serving at the local level, and it's very important that you get involved. I don't know if you guys know this, but like Jay's like, I didn't know there was a free conference from CAR because we don't really promote it in here. I used to promote it a lot when I was a CR director because we try to get attendance, right? But those of you that don't know is that what CAR does is you have committees that handle everything. Like there's a committee that writes the contracts. There's a committee that does like ethics, professional standards, like all the things, okay? And you've served on the board before, and you know, I believe there's a balance. I don't believe in serving so much on committees that you don't sell houses, because that's the mistake I made. I got in, and remember, when you show up as a leader, everyone wants your leadership, especially if they're not paying you. So before I knew it, 1 year, I was like, wait, hold on, it was already like March of that. That's the year I talk about when my goal was to sell 75 homes by myself. I didn't have a TC or an admin. And I was like, I'm gonna sell 75 homes. And guess what? It was end of March and I had sold 6. And why? Because I looked at my calendar and I was very tired. But I was the chair of Women's Council. I was the upcoming president of NAR in LA. I was serving on CAR, the board. I was in every committee doing everything, and I was having a lot of fun. Hanging out with all the roaches that don't have any money. You know what I mean? Like I was having a lot of fun, and so when that happened, I was like, I need my time back. I finished my commitment that year, and those committees, but I didn't renew for the next year. And that year, I worked very hard. That's why it's never too late. That year, I started doing the activities, and I did not hit my goal of 75 homes, but I sold 72. Only from April through the end of the year, right? So you can still do it. It's never too late. And right now, everything that we're teaching you, we're bringing the momentum. So you can have, for sure, an amazing year going into 2023, because 2023 started October 1st. Okay, so what's gonna happen today, where are the girls? Oh, here's the time lunch coming, 12?
Yes, 12.
12 o'clock. So today's lunch, you guys, is being sponsored by my personal trainer. You guys met her before, Antoinette. Limpy's, I don't think she's bringing actual Limpy's food. I think she's paying for a different, whatever the girl wanted. I don't know what the lunch is.
Limpy's.
Oh, it is Limpy's? No, but she's bringing something else. I don't know what the food is. I don't know what it is.
It's Limpy's.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but she's sponsoring it. Her 84-year-old dad is delivering it for her. Because she's able to get, so he's gonna come and bring us a lunch. And I just asked that her meals come out to about $12 on quality meats and vegetables. So we'll talk about that later. So if you guys ever want to meal prep and replace some meals, or if you're driving around and you're hungry, don't go drive through. Go there, it costs the same. Yeah. It costs the same. And they have Temecula, Riverside, and we have the Corona location. If you're around, don't like lean. She has all the most delicious organic, like all the healthy foods. And you guys, I don't know about you, but I went drive to Pollo Loco and it was $20. I was like, what did I order? I didn't even order chicken. Okay, so that's not good. So, anyways, so today that's gonna happen, and so I'll let everybody kind of explain what they're gonna teach today, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So then let's give everybody a round of applause and thank you for your it's how we all get to learn from each other. So you're here because you want to improve your master listing presentation in a market where skills matter more than ever. More than ever, period. In the discussion yesterday, I sat in, I paid $100 and I sat in, Gary Keller gives us the economic update for the nation. So yesterday I sat in and had the economic update by our chief economist from NAR, and I was in the luncheon yesterday, and he was saying the exact same thing. Home prices have already, check this out. 3 months ago, 3 months ago, only 14% of homes had a price reduction. This was, I'm sorry, March of this year. And right now, 50% of homes have a price reduction. It's statewide. Okay, we're noticing that, and we also, it's not doom and gloom. This is an exciting time because skill-based agents, we're gonna win. Okay, and yeah, so we are expecting home prices to go down 20% is the average of their price. They're gonna correct to that. And there's the rates will eclipse around 7%. The other day we gave you guys an option on the 4% rate. Those of you that were not here, on Eastwood Bank, I'm determined to be his only office he works with. Okay, I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. And so there's a lot of options out there. So today we're here to sharpen your skills. So thank you for showing up. Okay, give them a round of applause.
For me, it's going to be scripts. I did scripts last time, but I brought different scripts this time, more with what's going on in the market, just like learning them, reciting them, internalizing them. So I have new ones. I'll have them emailed so that you guys can all get them as well. But yeah, that's really what it is. And the important thing to know about this is like these scripts are like, when did you take gold the first time? 2018. So these are from 2018, but the scripts still work even in this market. So like once you guys learn them, like you're gonna keep using them. And what I noticed while I was preparing for this is that every market you're gonna get basically the same like pushback. Like, and when the rates were down, people didn't want it because homes are expensive. Now they're high and it's obvious and people still don't want to make a move. So it's really finding them motivated, and this is gonna help you do it for sure.
Exactly.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey guys, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Stephen. I'm part of the Keras team. I'm going to be going over pricing. Guess what? If you guys were in the last class, nothing changed. You know, I want you guys to look at that board over there. What does that board say over there?
Learning for
earning's sake, right? So a part of it is being here in the classroom, but then you guys do your part and go out there and actually do it, right? Because if you guys are just getting the knowledge but not going out there and exercising it, then you're not making any income. You're not making any, like, your business is not growing, right? So it's super important that after this, you guys actually implement this thing in it. But there's really nothing new. Pricing is still the same. The pricing is a little bit different from last market to this market. It's just you have to be a little firmer, right? Nothing new. It's just kind of more of a refresher for those of you guys that are already here. For those of you guys that weren't here, I'm just going to share with you guys what we do and what works for us. And I think I'm a badass when it comes to pricing.
Yeah.
And I'm Elena Flores. I have built my business solely 100% referral based agent. So I'm going to teach you skills on building a referral business.
Wonderful.
Yeah, basically like how I did after yesterday.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm Jay Chacon, your team leader here. I'm also going to be helping you guys know how to take on the listing consultation at the beginning, the appointments, the Aurora section, which is like the script. And we're going to discuss the conversations to have when you're in front of them. And then I'm going to be reading Ginny's notes, where we're going to discuss how to set the expectations properly and address that you might be having the conversation and the price reductions later on. So I'll tune into that, and Becky will take it over and go in depth with that too. Remember, guys, as leaders, they tell us that love without accountability is abuse, right? I mean, it's neglect. So love without accountability is neglect as leaders. And I say the same thing about ourselves with knowledge. So knowledge without action is also abuse, right? So you can know how to do something, but if you don't execute, you're abusing yourself. So quick little note, first takeaway of the day.
Yeah, that was great. Yesterday on the panel was about how to survive in the shift, and we were these really high achievers. And yesterday we also, how many were you in the Tom Perry class? I didn't get to go. Did you get? Who was in the Tom Perry?
They just talked about 1 through 5.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and getting on video, right? It's the same information, but I like to hear. I mean, 50% of his he said 50% of his presentation is like obviously following his coaching. He has a lot of knowledge. He's an industry leader for a reason. And for people that are not with their system, they don't have anyone else. So they go to Mike Perry or Tom Perry or Brian Buffini, which I respect all of them. They all have their own niche, they're all professionals, and they're all trying to help educate the agent and increase professionalism. So my respects. However, I promise you that when you're a new agent and you go to all these trainings, because you're determined, and I know, Gabe, you've gone to a lot of good trainings in the last 6 months, but you've gone to all of them. What have you gone to? Youth Global University? Yeah. What else you go to?
Career visioning, career partner system.
Career partner system, right? And you will, and I'm like, Gabe, when I got into business, I was grilling every top producer, you know, Sarita, you guys are my friend since she knows since I started in real estate, and she knows, like, my work ethic is on point, but she knows, however, what you'll learn, and I've done this, I flew 1 year in 2016 to 18 top offices. And I was like, I'm going to discover the secret. Like, someone has to have like a secret on how they're selling 200 homes and like making money. Anyways. Yeah, and you know, everywhere I went, everybody I went to, and you guys know I brought in most of my friends that are here. The Lally team, they surpassed already $3 million in GCI this year, but they've only worked 10 hours a week this year. If you guys follow them on social media, they're traveling all the time. And they built their business in 10 years here at KW. They were the #1 RE/MAX agents in the world. And then they came in, they're doing a good job. But I talk to them, whatever, and at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Leads, listings, leverage. So today, I want to talk to you about where do we go find leads, okay? Because you're gonna think, yeah, I know what to do, but what are some ideas of like, you're like, great, I have a listing presentation ready, I know the scripts, but where do I go find them? And I want to let you know that unless you really surrender into tech, you're gonna have a disadvantage. So I'm gonna be talking about that.
I think one of the main things that we really don't focus on is those of us that have kids is leaning into whoever you're networking with, whether they're in football or band, talk to the parents. You don't necessarily have to talk about real estate, but it's about relationships. So getting close to the parents, and that's how I kind of started with building my relationships, is talking to the parents and then slowly lean into, oh, you're in real estate, or have your badge on when you go pick up your son or something like that. But that's one good way that doesn't cost money for you to get in front of people.
You know, it is. I remember you guys all know Mario Vargas, right? Mario Vargas, the photographer, you guys know who he is, right? I remember one time when I went and solicited, I went up to him and everybody said, Sophia, I take pictures for realtors all day for the last whatever years. And he had his real estate license with KW in the past before he became a photographer. And he said, you're the only one that solicited my business. I did. I was like, you want to buy, you want to sell, like, you want to invest, and you're doing pictures. That the thing is that you forget, you approach them, and I got a transaction after because I asked. Okay, so like, we forget, and I did that with my home inspector too. I'm like, hey, who's your preferred realtor? He's like, well, I service a lot of realtors. Who do you use? You know, and he's like, well, you know, and I'm like, well, I want to apply for the job of being your realtor. And who do you refer your friends, families, kids, and friends to? So today we're going to talk about where can we go find listings, okay? Where, and so let's get started. Let's get started with who's going to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
All right. Awesome.
Bring up my Dora.
Oh, I was talking about where to find it first.
Yeah, and when I see it, it's a little organized, guys, but it's probably fine, okay? Don't worry about it. No, we got this, all right? We got this. Okay, so we're going to talk about what to say. And I have to let you know something. I'm going to disagree a little bit with Sophia because I think it's important to know what to say to have the courage to ask and have the conversation around it. Would you agree?
Yeah.
What do you think?
For
You
sure.
gotta know what to say.
Yeah.
And does the confidence come from scripts prior or just memorizing a conversation or?
For me, it's hard for me because I'm an introvert, so I really have to like psych myself up to put myself out there. But I just really focus on being confident.
Yeah.
I do not practice scripts as much as I should, just because my business is mostly referral. But as we're going into this market, I know that I need to step it up with my scripts. So.
Do you think you've earned the right then to not have to practice as much because you've done so many years?
No, I don't, because I do need to, and I know that I lack it. So as much as I'm a seasoned agent, I do know my what I like, and that I can do much more.
Yeah. The scripts are very important, right, guys?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Even if you're a big mega top producer?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
100%. So it's kind of cool, you guys. I wanted to bring Elena up here and Aurora up here because if you're curious, you guys have a different way of prospecting clients. Guys, what do you guys do?
Well, I had to learn scripts because I'm not that smart. No, these don't come to me easy. I'm not a school kid. I don't like to sit in class. I don't like to take. This is not me. So the easiest way for me was to learn the script so that I could just find it and then be like, I got one, and then have someone help me do it. Because that's just my personality. And once I do it once, then I got it, you know? So that's why I learned scripts. But what was your question? I don't know.
No, that's important though. Like, so no, that's perfect. A lot of you are the same way. You cannot deny it. I'm not going to point any fingers at anyone. You guys will come to certain classes and just absolutely, you know, you guys are wiggling, get anxious, and answer like me, right? We're fidgeters. A lot of us are the same way, Aurora. That's why we're realtors, right? What do we call us, corporate rejects? Right? Because hey, be honest, how many of us would be we'll clock in somewhere.
Oh,
Let's be real. If you have to go clock in again, who would be fired? Raise your hands.
I would quit, I wouldn't get fired.
I'm like Dave on that
Who
one.
would walk out? Who would walk out of that dog like 3 days in, right? There you go. So that's super important because I'm so glad you brought that up because a lot of us are the same way, right? A lot of us are naturally really good and in school, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. This is fun. We're gonna keep it fun today. Do you guys get talking too much in class?
Means
Did you?
So,
Or
what
you
do
said?
you need to know about me? I'm so different from what I was in high school. Like, I was ditching school, drinking at the park. I was a total party girl. But once I had my son, I completely changed to like short skirt, low top. But I had my son, everything changed. So I'm completely different from what I was back then.
So having, you know, the
So when people say, oh, you're an introvert, you're shy, I'm like,
you're like this way.
Most likely to get arrested.
Yeah.
The best part here?
Yeah.
And no matter real safe, real talkative.
Yeah, I wasn't, my dad was crazy, so I never like got in trouble and stuff like that, but I always talked too much. I just kind of worked, however I could figure out to get a good grade, I would, you know, like extra credit. I don't do all this, but I could do that and get extra credit. So like whatever the easiest is.
That's perfect. And I promise you guys I'm asking this for reasons. So how many of you guys are similar? You guys talk a lot, always were good at being social. Yeah. Show of hands here. Raise your hands. This is an interactive class. Raise your hand on Zoom. I see you guys, all 15 of you. The reason I asked that is because it's kind of like Gary Keller talks about P2P, right? You guys know what it means, P2P. Purposeful, right? So a lot of us have something that is called natural talent. We're natural talkers. A lot of us are really good at talking, meeting people, and socializing. That's why we're in this industry. And for those of you that aren't, or you have to learn how. So what's easier, you guys, to teach someone that doesn't know what to say or someone that talks too much what to say, right? Yeah. Someone that talks too much, absolutely. So this is why I want to bring it into you guys. So someone that talks too much, we're natural socializers. Oh my God, I like your house, it's blue, it's purple. My mom taught me, Sophia, right, that I can't be doing that at a listing appointment, right? You can't be like, oh, I love purple, I love the Dodgers, I love this. You have to stay on script. So that brings me into scripts. We're all natural good talkers. We're good at talking to people that are in the industry. That's why it's so important to practice what to say, you guys, because we get so distracted in conversations that we sidetrack. Is that correct? Yeah. We veer from the conversations. How many times have you guys left, those of you experienced agents, we ask you, left an appointment, listing appointment, and said, oh, I forgot to say this.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot to do this. That brings me into checklists. You think maybe we sharpened our skills as even top producers that have been in the industry for a while? How much of a difference would that make in this skill-based market?
Yeah. I think if I can add to that, like one of the things that I love about scripts too, especially me being like a talker and I'm like in 5 minutes I'll be like, girl, you know, like I start talking to them like that. But when I know my scripts, I love that I can turn it on and then they know that I need business. Like we're cool, but let's talk about this and I can turn it on in 2 seconds. But I couldn't do that before because I kept trying to get them to like me, you know, and now it's like, well, I don't need you to like me. I just need you to trust that I'm going to sell your home and I'm going to do a good job. So that's my biggest takeaway on scripts.
Yeah, there's a agent you should follow on social media. His name is Tim Heil. Timheyl. He's a creative agent. I mean, he started as a new agent with us, and I mean now he has like I think like 800 agents on his team. It's really crazy. Tim Heil, Heyl. Tim Heil. He has a lot of stuff. He was teaching a class a few years ago, and I went and flew out and took it. And he says what he does is he wrote out his entire listing presentation, like hand wrote it out. And I know Hector did that too. He did that, yeah, but this Hector, you know, Hector's amazing. And Hector, when I told him to teach a listing presentation class, he memorized it. Like he memorized it. And so with Tim Heil, to be on his real estate team as a buyer agent or a listing agent, you don't qualify first. He puts you on his team and he has you make calls. Because he goes, that will exclude like half of the population right now. Oh, you want to be an agent? Awesome. Sit down and make some calls. And he says that the people that this is how you know. He said this is how I know if someone's going to succeed in real estate. He puts a phone in front of them. You know, that's what they say. What's the best way to have an agent not speak? Put a phone in front of them. Yeah, but I shut real quick. And so and at the end of the day, I talk about I don't care how you lead generate yourself and have phone skills. Period. Absolutely. And what Tim Hiles said is really crucial is that he says that he'll put a phone in and ask yourself if this is you. He'll put a phone in front of them and he'll say, okay, call. This is a list of 10 people. Call them and see if they want to buy a house. And then how people respond to that is how you know if they're going to are for sale or not. Sorry. If they say, oh no, but what do I say? Well, I need to know what the script is. I need to know what to say. Then you will know, like the people that are hesitant and afraid to make that call, they better be very good at something else because they're gonna really have a hard time. And then the people that say, all right, I'll call it, I'll figure it out. Like I'm gonna call and I'm like, you guys know that we just call and I'll just say, okay, I'm asking the one buyer sell it. The people that are like fearless and don't think of what to say, they're willing to do it. That's number one. And then number two, of course, you didn't know what to say. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you don't have that call, reluctance is called. Okay. So Tim Hile, he says, memorize your listing presentation to a point that you can do it blindfolded. Like you can literally walk through it. I have his listing presentation, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. Okay. And I have all his scripts and all that stuff. I'm gonna make sure that you guys walk away with some of the stuff that he shared because it's still very relevant. Okay. And he says this: do not friend them to death. They don't need more friends. It is the agents that think, oh, I'm gonna be their friend, I'm gonna be their homie, and all that other stuff. Like, remember, they're not there to be your friend. That's why you won't get hired sometimes. They're there to say, are you a professional? Are you qualified to do the job? And can I trust you to do the job effectively? So be friendly, but not their friend. Does that make sense?
I love that you brought that up because how many of you guys who calls their listings that they do not get and get feedback?
I do.
How many of you guys have been told from the listings you didn't get that they absolutely love you, adore you, but they decided to go somewhere else with someone else for a different reason?
Oh yeah. Yes.
And that's what she's talking about, they're not there to be your friend, they have enough friends, right? Become a friend during the transaction and after the transaction.
How many of you have time to have more friends? I don't even see the ones I already have.
Yeah, because I'm always very friendly and babe, honey, sweetie. And lately she's been on my about it. And now I really tackled getting to know their name versus calling them babe or honey. It was just the easy way for me not to learn their name. And let me tell you, it's challenging. However, I see that they respect me more by knowing their first name. So that is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, yeah. I've been on Claudia about that a lot because it's an LA thing, okay? It's not just it's like all my LA friends, they call me, they're like babe, honey, sweetie, and it feels good, but you have to understand when you are if Jay's like, get another camera. I'm not camera ready. I need 6 more months. Perfect. The thing is this, there's so many books, and there was an agent. His name is Mark Spain. He's the #1 agent. He was the #1 agent in the whole wide world, and now he's doing some other thing. He got into the tech space because once they make millions, they invest in tech. So he's one of the owners behind some of the tech. Okay, but his name is Mark Spain, and I got the opportunity to meet him. And I asked, and every time I meet a successful person that does very, very well, they're high achievers, I always ask them, like, what's their schedule like, what's their routine like? I'd like to know how they spend their time and how they spend their money. So I ask them, where do you invest or whatever? So I always ask successful people, like, what is the one book you recommend? So I started asking all these successful people what the book was, and the book that was very common among everybody was it's the #1. We talk about it here all the time. So there's a lot of people in the book, so I'll repeat it. But there's a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And that book is Dale Carnegie. I mean, it's from the 1800s or whatever. That's not, but it's like the 1950s. But guess what? There has yet to be a better book written about this topic. So he's still the #1, even though he died 100 years ago. Imagine a legacy. He died 100 years ago, and yet his book is still most relevant. And I bought a bunch of copies to be on my real estate team. It's required to read it, like, period. And then I always had extra copies, so I bought them on Amazon, and I would give them to waitresses or young people I see because that book is very powerful. And that book talks about this.
the best way to connect with someone, there's no sweeter word in the whole world than someone's name. There's no, and if you want to lose rapport immediately with somebody, 100% is butcher or don't say their name correctly or misspell it. That is the best way. So you always be conscious of that. You know, and in the listing appointment, it's crucial. You sit with people, and I told you when you arrive at your listing, I started saying, oh man, please see your ID, and they're like, well, I want to make sure I'm meeting with the right woman, and that makes me stand out in every listing compared to anyone else, right? Because I'm like, I want to make sure that shows that I'm operating at a whole nother level, right? But one of the things is that think about it, your personal name. Like me, when I get an email, and I get an email. So I got an email like this. Sophia, yesterday at the conference. Sophia, can I please interview you for my podcast?
Her name's written everywhere.
I was like, no. Because like, I'm like you didn't take the time to know me. You know what I mean? So to me, they spell my name like that. I'm like, that's not how you spell my name. Like, it's important. So I told Claudia, I said, Claudia, as your friend, I also learned this as a young leader. I had my friend Gabby would say babe to people, and I was like, I don't believe in, as a professional, don't do that. Like a professional, you don't go to someone and say, hey babe, hey sunshine, hey sweet. And don't get me wrong, I like it once you're friends with someone, it's a little different, but that is not, do not do that with clients. That shows that do you guys agree? Who in the room agrees that we have some of the top producers in the room? How would you feel if someone, well, you're there and they call your husband, honey, sweetheart, baby? Hey, I'm gonna show them to your husband, hey baby, like you wanna list the house with me? Like that is not right. Yeah, but it's the whole energy. So those little things matter. How to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie. You guys read that book. It is so good. It's like from the 1950s. And I'm a big reader, so I always recommend books because our readers, remember, the homes in Beverly Hills, right? They all have one thing in common. Libraries. Yeah. Now they don't, because now things have changed. Now books are on your phone. But back in the day, they would spend more time building their libraries than the rest of the house. The models were, the architecture was always around libraries. So reading is important. Growing your mind reading is important. If you don't like to read, learn to love it. Force yourself. 90% of people don't haven't picked up a book since high school. That's just how it is. So you become that expert for people, okay? How to win friends and influence people. And the sweetest word you say is someone's name. Someone's name. No moochie names.
Some good nuggets, right guys? Some good nuggets. Hopefully you guys are taking notes. So going back into actually taking the listing consultation. So today, the purpose of today is not just to talk about a specific topic, it's to actually walk you through it and start off with the scripts, what to say, why you practice them, little takeaways that you do. So in Aurora, you have scripts that you guys say. Yeah, and the reason I have these two amazing professionals up here is because not everyone has the same lead source style, right? And we have people in the audience like killing it on social media, right? Like Miguel, for example. So yours is what? What does Gutierrez do?
We do a lot of cold calls. We've been blessed in the business, so now we do get a lot of referrals too. But cold calling is our main source. Before COVID, it was door knocking. That was like our main bread and butter. But obviously COVID, so cold calling is our thing. And then so again, we're blessed because Hector does all the cold calls and then I do all the warmer calls. So when he gets a nurture, then it goes to me and I nurture it until they get to the appointment.
That's awesome.
So can you
and then I'm a little bit opposite. So for me, I dive into my database. I tracked my business from like 2017 to current, and I tracked where did I get this business from, and over 90% of it was referral from my SOI. So I said, why am I spending marketing dollars on marketing to people I don't know? I'm going to dive into my people and love on them. If their kids got an award, I sent a gift card for ice cream. If their kids have a birthday, I send them a little something for birthday. I dive into even the kids. I dive in, if their parents died, have my admin look up something on Amazon and send something photo related, something that meant because people are posting like special pictures, right? That meant something to them. So why not tailor something that meant something super special from you? So I dive into my relationships with people.
You also do a lot of social media commenting, right?
And so what I have to say is, and I didn't start picking up my social media game until maybe 6 or 9 months ago. People are watching you. As much as you don't think they are, they are. I have gotten 2 to 3 transactions this year from people I would have never had thought would have done business with me ever. They're in my Facebook and they're in my SY, but I just never thought they would do business with me. That gave me their business. So if you don't think it, so what? Put it out there.
Oh, I love your video. You're so cute.
And just get over it.
It takes over you to post that.
Get over whatever you think about yourself. Trust me. Like I'm horrible. Like I'm the worst critic of myself, but I'm learning to just get it out there. That's so what? I posted stuff with no makeup. My hair is always crazy, but whatever. Just get over it and put it out there.
It's cute and curly.
And you're getting transactions out of it.
I'm getting transactions.
And I love they brought that up because Laura, even the cold caller here, you stepped out of your comfort zone and you started doing videos. What have you seen?
Yeah, I've done 3 appointments. I have one tomorrow, and it's crazy because the one I have tomorrow is a girl from high school. Yes. Like we weren't like school.
You are now.
She reached out to me and she was just interested in buying it. It's so funny because I will post a video talking about the market, my real estate career, blah, blah, blah. But I post a video about like how I hate doing laundry and like it sits on like whatever for 5 days. And that's the video she saw, and that's the one she reached out because she's like, oh my God, girl, me too, you know? And then here we are now.
But that was the icebreaker into how she was going to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Because she probably felt the same way that you guys didn't connect.
Yeah.
But she found the in to connect with you.
So it's just funny. Like the more I'm myself on there, the more people are reaching out. When I try to be this like professional, like, you know, let me tell you everything about the market, then it just doesn't hit for some reason.
I did a post, a video, I don't know how many months ago, I don't know if you remember it, where I posted about putting a plant, removing it from the backyard to the front yard and how it's thriving, and that your environment has to do with how you grow. I cannot tell you how many people reached out to me and said, thank you so much for posting this, and told me about how it changed their experience or what's going on in their life. So connect with people. And as much as you don't think that you're connecting with them, you really are.
What if I tell you, there's people in the room, what if I tell you, well, you know what, I'm going to keep building my business what I've always done. And I'm not a video person, I'm not a tech person. What do?
I can tell you something. Keep doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've already got.
Yes.
Okay, but let's just say they say, well, I kind of want to do something different, but I don't know where to start.
Just start.
I know that, but I'm not techie. I don't know how to edit the videos. I don't know how to
watch
add the words.
people that follow other people.
I have a suggestion for that one. Video, just record it before you post it. She does videos too.
Yeah.
Like some people are not techie, but you can take a picture. Hello.
I'm becoming techie by watching other people and following people that are techie and are helping, showing you what to do. Like there's no secret to where I got is watching other producers that were higher than me. So follow the people that are higher than you, copy it, implement it. So what? Just put your own spin on it and make it.
Because we're not entrepreneurs, we're
copy
entrepreneurs.
If I be honest, I think that is just an excuse that we use because my grandma has a Facebook, you know, my mom is on Instagram, like her friends are making reels, like and they're like cringy, but they're doing it, you know? So I think that for us, like we know how to use our phone. We live off of our phone. So you're not posting because you don't want to. Like that's just period. Because and I was one of them, so I can say that. Like I the only reason I got social media was because somebody said if you're gonna be a realtor, you have to have it. So I got it.
And that's how our industry is heading into, is technology and what is the word? Attract your business, attract the people that want to do business with you.
Because people will like, and you guys both prove the point. At the end of the day, people want to do business with people they like, and if they want to relate to you. And some of the people that do business with you, Elena, will never hire me, and vice versa, or vice versa. They're going to hire each of us for different reasons.
Yeah,
exactly. And the point, and the point is, okay, because I call them vague and baby. But the whole point is this, like, when I was a YPN 10 years ago, we did a study, NAR did a study, and you understand that, like, I really feel that social media is really robbing our youth. There's a book that Gary Keller told us to read. It's called The Why Effect. And don't read it. It's so boring, but I read it. And the bottom line is this: he's talking about how the youth nowadays, they do not have the same social communication skills that we had, because they are literally they're behind a screen from birth.
They're home.
Yeah. Right. And they lack the communication skills. So you know, it is, you know, it's really sad because we've seen it. Yes, we've seen it.
Yeah.
And some of the things that we did growing up, these younger kids, just things have changed. Whatever have changed. And one of the things that I thought a long time ago, I thought, wow, like. And social media, there's so many benefits. Like, I'm able to see my friends' kids grow up through video that live in the East Coast that I would never see otherwise, and different things. You're able to connect with people. And I also believe that if not used properly, it sucks up your life. Like, you can spend so much time, and there's a lot of studies around that. Like, there's so much time where, so I'm bringing this up to say, have a plan. Have a plan and not action, because social media is definitely, and it doesn't, that's just one way to do business. Like, those of you in the room that are saying, well, one of you are the room that are saying, well, I'm not going to do social media, that's not me, 100%, that's great. But remember one thing, it's that find something that you are going to do and do it well. And right now, what we're going to do is, we're going to have this conversation, and then before we role play, let's have a conversation about how to find the leads first. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
You guys want to find some leads?
Yes.
Listings, yeah. And then I want to, we'll role play an actual presentation. So, you excited?
And then we give about social media really quickly. I hate TikTok. I don't like, none of my people are getting me on TikTok. So I need to start building my TikTok. But I have to tell you that I got a text from a 69-year-old past client that took a picture of one of my TikToks and said, "You're so cute." I'm like, oh my God, she's on TikTok.
I'm telling you, you'll be surprised.
I know.
Yeah. We went to yesterday's event, they had a TikTok thing yesterday. I didn't have a TikTok, and I was watching Alicia and Delfina, and I was like, they were posing and shit, and I was like, I want to do what you're doing. So I followed what they did, and I did a TikTok. I did my first TikTok yesterday. I was so easy. I was in resistance to opening a TikTok, but now I'm like, let's get out.
Yes.
I still am a firm believer that, and I agree with the guy that was here, I forget his name, but he said that social media is the gravy. Like, if you have, like, gravy is really good when you put it on other food. It brings it like to life and it's delicious. But if you have a bowl with just gravy, it's disgusting. So I truly think that, like, social media is cool and you can get deals from it, and it's amazing and you can connect with people. But if you don't know what to say when you get them, it doesn't matter. And if you're gonna be just hiding behind your phone because you're too scared to speak to people, it's only gonna take you so far. So I'm doing it because what else am I gonna do? I'm already doing the other stuff, but I wouldn't do just that.
It's another leg that you're adding to your business.
Absolutely. How many legs does share have?
4.
So you at least need good 4 solid streams of income. So if you're killing in the referral game, good. Now you need 3 more. Right?
All right, let's we're gonna start bringing the juicy stuff. All right, you guys can hear us say about scripts, you see more with paper. You're like, all right, what does she have in her hand? So you're absolutely right. It's what to say. So knowing what to say brings confidence, right? So if I ask you right now, you say, yeah. Well, there's 2 of you, right? Team, is both team red too?
Yes,
no. Okay. So if I ask both of you, right now, to sell me a Ferrari and what it has its features, are you gonna feel confident doing that to me? You got the job before I got the 100K, you got it. Sell me a car. Sorry? Do you know the interior features? Can you sell it to me?
Not really, but I'll just tell you that it's nice, it's hard, I'll just say whatever you guys.
Exactly.
You wing it.
Yeah, you wing it for sure. How many of us wing it when we first started? And you know what? You can still wing it. It's not wrong. You can absolutely wing it, girl. I love that you said that. That's when you're a natural entrepreneur. You were able to wing it and go into it. But it's what I'm trying to say is you have to know what you're going to say. You have to know the details, the interior, the process. So you don't have to know what each thing does exactly. You have to know it has it. I don't know every single thing in my cars. I didn't even know, to be honest. Like I forgot what one of the sections was at the time because I didn't fully understand it. She threw me on the phone the second day of the Navy. And I called people. And I was like, okay. And I just memorized this thing. She's like, call people. And that's how they test me. So you can work with my team. We have to call people. And it's my second day literally. I just flew in from the Navy. And I got on the phone. And I had
no days off.
Yeah. Didn't know what I was doing. Got on the phone. And I was able to, kind of say something wingy, but it was a horrible feeling. And I was fake confident. I just had appointments. But knowing what to say changes everything. Because as soon as she made me memorize that buyer's presentation that weekend, I didn't know what half the stuff was, but I knew it was there. So that's what I hope you guys take away from this. You don't have to know half the thing that she's really saying or relate to it, but just know that you can say it as part of the process.
I want to build on that, Dave, because as a referral agent, you're absolutely correct. So with me, I'm thinking, okay, the market that we're going into, I need to build myself because I can't solely rely on referrals. I can't solely rely, I need to build my other lady. That's why I have been working on scripts and going out to build my other legs and even as a seasoned agent, you're always teaching yourself. You're always, don't ever feel like you have to know everything. Because, and I'm the first to tell you that I don't. I learned from Aurora, I learned from Hector, I learned from Sophia, all the other agents, just learn from who we have here in our office, because everybody's so genuine
and collaborative. I have one person here that want to share their story.
Right, absolutely.
I want to say something because even when referrals, because my business too, I mean, I do have a lot of referrals. But even with referrals, you have to have skills to earn the trust of that person. Because they already trust you because they like, because they trust their friend who referred it to you.
Right.
But you still need to earn their trust.
Yeah.
And like, not calling them babe or honey and like, but it's still like, doing the best, like as it is, it is a new person, it's a new, way for you to do business. So you had to earn, their trust as well. So it is important to have skills.
And you know why? Because Sophia said this so many times, and the whole purpose of all these classes and trainings is, like she says, you have to be reminded more than you have to be taught. So they know you, they like you, but they need to know if you can help them.
Right.
That's what everyone's pissed off at so many times is thinking when they meet you. Like, do I like this person? Like, do they like me? Do they care about me? And can they help me? Is what they're thinking. So a little bit of the job for referrals is kind of slightly dumb, but you still have to prove that you can help them.
Yeah.
Right. So you're referral based, you have to prove that you great, awesome. I love you. You're great at sound, great. Yeah. But can you actually help me complete the transaction? So scripts and knowing the process is huge.
I always tell them that up front. Like, there's a script for that.
I
always say, like, hey, Sophia, like, I know your sister referred me, but I by no means take that for granted. So I want to make sure that I go through everything as if I just met you, because I want to make sure that I earn your business. And when I say that, they're like, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to skip anything today. And then I'll go through it. So I'll go from like, thank you so much. Oh my God, it's hot outside, huh? Blah, blah, blah. And then boom, I go into my script. Like I turn it on. So because that's my personality. Like I like to be able to joke around a little bit, but when I turn it on, it's like, it's on. And so, and I love to see the face that they make because I know that they're in it with me and then I'm speaking like powerfully, so that's what scripts do for me personally, because I'm just like a joker all the time.
Awesome. It brings you back in.
Yeah.
Also, like, what's the, Elena, so you're a referral base too. So I am a referral in Marvin's party. Would you be comfortable acting that out with me? Like, yeah, so my mom, Sophia, says that you sell houses, I'm thinking of buying one.
Oh, well, when's a good time for us to sit down and connect?
Yeah, so like, can we just go view houses already, or like, how does this work?
Well, first we need to sit down and I'd like to educate you on the process, because it is a process and I want to set you up for success. I mean, I'm not really good at scripts, but
that was great.
She's not good at scripts, she's good at working on the
So, I mean, but you always go for the appointment, always go for your appointment.
That's what she does immediately, you guys. She just is confident. Most people, like, there's different scripts. There's some scripts that take a little longer to get to asking for the appointment. But a lot of us want that. We want to get to know people first and then be like, okay, absolutely, okay, she kind of likes me. Let's set the appointment.
But then I kind of entertain the conversation of what are you looking for? Yeah. Tell me about do you work? How long have you been at your job? So I'm kind of trying to qualify them there. Yeah. And then I go for the appointment and say, oh, well, let's set up an appointment. You know, what works well for you? Tomorrow, this week, Saturday.
And you're so confident asking it. Yeah. You're so confident asking the date.
I am confident, and therefore I'm expecting that I'm going to be their agent. I don't even doubt that I'm not going to be their agent.
Have you ever had a referral and not get hired?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's happened to me. Like, what did you do? What happened?
So I contacted them afterwards and just asked them, you know, may I ask why you went with that other agent? And some of it was either price or their marketing was, I didn't present my marketing, and I knew. You kind of already know.
Great, and you know what? I want to share the script that I learned that from my coach. So that's exactly why. I also not got hired a referral, and I was like, mostly happened my first year of real estate, and it happened because I went in there and I didn't go through a thorough listing presentation.
Yes,
I skipped it. I skipped it because I was like, oh, I got it. My sister is gonna go with you. Like the person said, oh, they already decided to go with you, so I assumed that. I just started focusing on the marketing. What can I do? The open house, so I skipped the presentation. So since then, like. When people give you feedback, I call them back and I say they will not pick up the phone, so you give them a voicemail. And I say, hi Elena, this is Sophia. Thank you so much for texting me. Let me know that you go with another agent. I just want to let you know that this is my livelihood. This is the only income I have to support my family. So it would really bless me if you give me any feedback on how I can improve and why you decided not to hire me. Because that way I can grow from this experience and I can increase the chances of getting hired next time. So that I can, you know, stop it for my family. So when I'm done that, I said, look, you can just text me back, leave me a voice memo, like if you're uncomfortable telling me, but just know that you will really bless me. So when they gave me that feedback of like, hey, you came in, like you didn't even explain anything to us, and so from there forward, it was the best thing that happened to me because that was a very good expensive $7,000 check back then, the price point, and that was okay, $7,000 commission check. Who cares? Like the point is that from there, I never skipped a listing presentation. I don't care like I was doing a transaction with my parents. Okay, I was selling their house a few months ago. You guys know that, and I literally sat there and did a presentation with my parents because they need to understand the process too. They have questions. You cannot skip it for anyone, even though someone that likes and trusts you.
And you're exactly right. I think it was last year. One of my best friends referred me to her sister-in-law in San Diego, who was selling a $1.2 million home and buying a home cash out here. And I thought I had the listing in the bucket, and then I lost it. And so I called them and asked them why, and they said they went with this bigger team out of San Diego. So I was talking to one of my local friends, like, can you believe it? They went with it, and they go, girl, the fact that you lost out to that team is like, you're good. Because I guess the beer came out of them. Yeah, but I'm like,
yeah, and so my coach taught me, okay, so Lori Reeder was my coach. I waited 6 months to be my coach. She coached me for 3 months, and she's #1 agent in Florida still today. I was just on her podcast 6 months ago. She's amazing, and what she taught me was this. She says, never leave a listing presentation without this script. Never. So write it down, guys.
And that's true, because I felt if I would have had my marketing on point and had my script, I would have.
Yeah, and remember, sometimes we stop doing the things that made us successful.
Yes.
So that's what it is. Like the first thing I did is I had a video recorded, and we have a good resource. We have Jonathan Sky Uriel, a marketing guy. He does videos. If you guys want a real good video,
Hector remembers the guy that came to the first office we had, the video, and you were been copying it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a video, make a video on why they should hire you. And so what I did is, this is what I did to personally self-plunder 81 homes by myself. This is what I did. I had a video recorded, you can still see it on YouTube, it's still there. Meet Sofia Chacon. I just had a video made, paid a few $100 for it, whatever. And then the video, I would come to listen to presentations, and I would bring my pink laptop and my iPad and listen to like the slideshow of the presentation, and I would show up and then put them out there. And that got me so many listings because actually people want technology. Whether they admit it or not, whether even if they don't like it, they know that technology is how their home's gonna sell. So that it would just show like, oh, this girl's techy. Even though I would just put and then what I would do is I would say, can I look at your home without you? And I would play the 3-minute video of me. I'll let them watch the video while I was walking around the house. So you guys, there's a video that you can hire somebody to do a video about you. And then what I would do, the video also, whenever I got a referral, a text everybody before I met them, say, hey, thank you, nice to meet you. Here's the video so you get to know me a little bit. And the video would say, you know, it just talks about me or whatever, but I always intended to do one that says, hey, this is what I like to do in my free time, this is my family, that's just a personal video too, and a little bit about yourself, right? The best video I have ever seen on this is Julie Aragon. She's a lender. She's the best video. She's very successful. And the video, so then my coach taught me this. She said, Sophia, before you leave any listing appointment, if they do not sign the contract, do not walk out without the script. And the script is this. Elena, listen, I know you're still going to interview other agents, and I respect that. I tried that's after you tried your best to make them hire you, and they still won't, right? They're going to think about it or talk to somebody else. Because remember, you have the listing unless you mess it up. You have it, right? Unless you mess it up, right? So she would say, do not walk out the list with this. You say, Elena, just remember, Elena, I want to say this to you, okay? Just remember, you're going to meet other agents, and they're going to offer you all this marketing. Just know this, in our short time together, it was impossible for me to go over every single thing we do to market your home. Just say, so if there's anything that someone else mentions that they do that I don't do, please call me, please give me your commitment that you're not going to sign another contract without giving me an opportunity to match that or beat that. Can you please give me that commitment today? You commit to me that you will not sign anything without that. And that's what it is. And then I got a call that said, oh, Sophia, I really like you better. I vibe with you better. But this other person, they're going to do Matterport. And your Matterport's $500 is not going to sell the house. But for $500, I want the listing. I did it, right? But so just knowing that script has got me distance too. So don't walk out of there without telling them, look, you know, there's a lot of people because what's going on is that some of these new agents, like Tom Perry showed an agent that already made $800,000 like in his third year in real estate because he's 22 years old. And how he did that is because he shows up with all the techie stuff that people want. Yeah. None of his friends are buying or selling, so he's not getting them from the street, right? He's getting them from consumers, but because he's showing up, showing, hey, here's a sample video of how we market your home. You know, and you cannot assume that people know that you're going to do that. Yes. Most people are visual. You know that. So show them a video. Here's a video of how I market your home. Here's a sample flyer of what I do. Here's a Facebook post that I did for a client, how many views I got. Like, bring that with you.
And I think as much stuff that you can bring with you, because the more stuff that you have to present shows all, it doesn't matter what's on it. It's just showing them that there's tons of value. It looks like a lot. They really fall off the table. You get
the realist report that's free, you know that report that's free from MLS? I bring it to my list because even though it's 36 pages and it costs money, right? I bring it because they think I spent hours creating it. Yeah. And it took like less than 4 seconds for my assistant to create it. So bring as much value if you don't know what to do, okay?
That's super, super important. We're gonna get into the script right now. This is all part of it though. This conversation is crucial to have with you guys, to shake you guys, to see that it is possible to do this business multiple different ways. Am I wrong? Then everyone has their own thing, but like especially your seasoned agents. Yeah, a new agent's gonna come in and win it over with technology because they look techier than you. It's all a presentation. That's what I do. It's like I know a lot. Really don't. I just know how to click things on a computer, right? But Aurora, let's get into the script, and then maybe you have this presentation will put up on the screen, and then we'll get into actually being at the appointment. So right now, ready? I'm selling my house, and Aurora, you gotta talk to me.
Well, yeah, I brought different scripts than last time. I didn't want to bring the same ones. But basically, what was your last time, the last class?
Then you can remind it anyway.
Okay. Well, do you guys remember the prequel script? where it's like before you even go to the appointment. Yeah, so you're asking them like, what does their house look like? And like, you know, what if it doesn't sell in 30 days? Well, what happens? Just like the most important question. Are you the decision maker? Those types of things. So that right there is going to set you up to know what you're walking into. Is this seller going to be, you know, like concerned about my fee, or are they going to be concerned about time, or are they going to be concerned about not having a Matterport? Like, what is their thing? You're going to find that out with that script. And I'm sure, I think Johnny still has it, so we can probably just email it again. But this pre-qual script is basically a repeat of that, but now you're in front of the client. So that's the only difference with this script right here. So we'll just go through it. This is not like oh, she's gonna have a rebuttal or anything like that. This is just so that you guys can start off the appointment knowing what you're walking into. So don't get all crazy. Don't get all This is just you.
I'll do that at King of the Hill. Go against the gal over there.
So this is assuming you got the appointment, you're there, you're sitting down with the decision makers. Here's the script that you would use. And last time we talked, I think I also gave you guys a copy of the script that Hector actually wrote out by hand. This is in there. It's in the presentation as well. So I wanted you guys to see, like, people do write it out and, you know, all that. So, all right. Okay, so hey Jay, I had an opportunity to speak with your sister, and I asked her a few questions to better prepare for this evening. May I review those questions now to make certain that I really understand why you want to sell your house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect, Jay. So your sister said that you guys are moving to San Diego, right? Yes. Okay, fantastic. And you needed to be there by December, correct?
Yeah, December would be perfect.
Perfect. And what's important about being there in December for you?
So I'm starting a job in January in that area, and I want to just take some time during the holidays to do it.
Okay, so you're starting a job in January. You want to be, why is it important for you to be like settled in before that?
The new job's gonna be so time consuming already, but I just really want to make sure that my home life is taken care of.
Got it. So ultimately, you're in San Diego by December. You're all settled in so that you can start a new job by January.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And what's that gonna do for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's just gonna alleviate that stress. I would just absolutely hate to have to worry about packing and moving so last minute and do a move in a new job.
Totally. Okay. And honestly, don't you deserve that, Jay?
Yeah, girl, yes I do.
Yeah, I agree. And my goal, Jay, is to make that happen. So if you're as committed as I am, then you'll be in San Diego by December, all settled in, at your new job by January. Cool. So I appreciate you being so serious about getting your house sold. As we continue to talk about getting your house sold and discussing what it will take, it's only natural for you to see why so many people choose me to sell their home. In fact, during our conversation about price, it'll become obvious that I get more people for their home than other agents do. You do want the most for your home, correct? Absolutely. Yeah, and because you want the most for your home, it's going to be easy to choose me tonight. Okay? So in fact, it's going to be so easy for you to sign the contract so you can move forward with your dreams of being in San Diego by January. And we're just going to go over some marketing to show you how we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's basically the pre-qual. And then you go into your actual consultation where you're showing pricing and CMA and you do photos and blah, blah, blah. The other part, another script that we have here is 3 goals. I'm not going to go through all of them because I know we need time for the other parts too. But there's 3 goals while we're there. And one thing that we do, and Andrew's really good at this. I'm more like I said, I'm a little more like loosey-goosey, you know, kind of remember. But he's really good at like when he says certain words, like the tones that he uses and the tie downs and all that stuff. So every time he says sell your home, sign the contract, today, decide today, choose me. Like there's certain tones that you're able to use.
Go down. That's from the word. That's from the class we have at the called language of sales.
Yes.
Yeah. So take it. It's an online class, language of sales, and it teaches you tie downs, scripts, word to.
Yeah. So those are all super important, and on the script, you'll see that they're all in caps, so you'll kind of know when you should be emphasizing what you're saying.
And that's important because it's kind of like an example saying, like me saying, right? The tone and right? You want to move, right?
Yeah.
You want to move, right? Like, which one would you prefer? It's the lower one. I could be like, gonna move, right? Like, no.
I really like it. It's gonna be so obvious. Like, you're gonna choose me, you know, like, because nobody wants to feel stupid. And if it's obvious that you need to choose me and you don't, then that's probably a tough decision. Like, that's basically what you're saying in like the nicest way possible.
And I love it.
Yeah.
It's bold. You have to be bold with that stuff. And they might laugh and you'd be like, oh, okay, like, let me see what this girl's got.
Yeah.
Either way, it's got my attention. She's got my attention. I'm not thinking about the next appointment. The next person I'm going to interview. I'm not thinking about the fact that this realtor sat in front of me and said that.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, you guys, is the motivation. Like, I don't care what market you're in, if they're not motivated, it doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how you price, it doesn't matter. Like, they have to be motivated. So in the pre-postscript, you saw that I repeated that she needed to be out by December, settled in, chilling in her new house by January. So I need to keep repeating that. When we talk about pricing, we need to repeat that. When we talk about staging, we need to repeat that. Every time it's kind of like something that might be something that she don't want to hear or something she doesn't want to do, I have to remind her, like, yeah, but you're going to be in your new house in January and you're going to be settled in, not even worried about it. So the motivation, if that's all you take from here, is the biggest thing. Because people who are not motivated are not going to do what you say. You know, they're not going to trust anything.
Absolutely.
So there's 3 goals whenever we go to an appointment. So one of them is we're going to review your motivation to sell your house now, and we're going to agree on a price. Sorry. We'll take a moment. I'll answer any questions you have. And then we'll decide tonight whether you choose to work with me, and I'll decide if I choose to take your listing. That doesn't happen a lot, but for instance, you might not choose to set a price that'll help sell your home, or you may choose me to pay for marketing that I know is just not going to sell your home.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
That's very fair.
Okay, perfect. So I have 3 critical questions for you. Do you really want to sell your home?
Honestly, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and are you willing to price the house to sell, or do you want it to sit on the market?
I want it to sell.
Okay, and so this is, I'm gonna skip, there's a part here for seller's market, and there's one for a buyer's market. Today, there are blank homes on the market. Last week, blank homes, so that means that blank homes did not sell and are still in the market. Do you want me to sell it for you?
Well, yeah, you said there's 20 homes in the market right now?
Yeah. Sorry. People are being told that the market is hot and everything is selling. Let me give you a reality as a professional. Sorry, I skipped off. Let me give you a reality. As a professional, I watch the market daily. And today, there are 20 homes on the market. Last week, there were 30 or 20 homes on the market. That means that blank homes did not sell in this market.
Wow.
So do you want me to sell it for you?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So that's a great script because in our current market, exactly how the seller that.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed the market.
That's perfect. And that goes me into the with Ginny's section. Already here now. She's sick. Kirsten, how to do a double click? So Ginny talks about what to add. Oh wait. All right. So Ginny has some notes to add to that. So the script at the appointment and going into setting expectations. There you go. All right. So all right. So Ginny says setting expectations. Remember, she's a top listing agent in Orange County. Setting expectations is everything. Ask permission to revisit these expectations every week. The expectations, and kind of like you just said, you remind them of their motivation, right? Expectations and motivation. And be bold in communication to clients. Aurora just showed a perfect example of being bold, right, guys? Yeah. Super bold. Honest and frequent communication builds the best rapport, trust, relationships, which will help in turn, like Lorena does, with referral and repeat business. Okay. Setting expectations is huge in the market that we're in. So, which type of expectations do you think that the sellers right now that want the same prices that they thought that we just saw for 6 months ago?
So there, yeah, we need to go over price, which I have multiple price amendments, price improvement scripts here. But I was reading these this morning and I was like, dang, these are bad. So there's different personality types, and Sophia talks about it all the time with the DISC personality. I encourage you all to learn those personalities because it changes the way your consultation is gonna go immediately. So this one is for a D personality who is asking you to market the home more instead of reducing the price. Ready? We're gonna act it out, ready?
So, yeah, it's not my house price. It's gotta be. My home has a sofa sitting here. You're not marketing it enough. Like, I don't know if you're posting it up on Facebook, like, whatever you're also gonna do, I don't know, you gotta do more of it, right? Like, have you been posting it?
Yeah, we have, but I'm confused, Jake. Wouldn't we just be telling more people that the home is overpriced if I did that?
I mean,
it's your goal. Yeah. So, then there's one for
wait a minute, period. Sellers will have an agenda.
They definitely will have it.
They will.
What will they say? What will they say?
What's that before I go?
Sandra, what?
My neighbor just sold for 60.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, what do you mean?
My house is nicer.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's the best one in the block.
It's the best one in the block. What else will they say? But we have all these upgrades.
More than the toilet. I have blue toilets.
Cool.
I have the floors.
All of these are objections, right? You can't say, well, they just sold, blah, blah, blah. That's why you also need to be educated on the market. When did they go into escrow? Did they go in when the rates were still at 5% or now at 7%? You also need to know what those homes look like. You also need to be able to pull them up and say, okay, perfect, let's compare those homes. Let's see like what's going to be dollar per dollar and what's not. Yeah. Or you can just go back to the motivation and say, okay, so let me check with your goals again. You said that you wanted to be in San Diego by December so that you can be settled in by January, correct?
That's what I thought we were gonna do.
Okay, so that means that we have to sell your home by December 15th. I don't know. Yeah, unless like December 15th, since it takes almost 3-4 weeks to get the home closed once it's up.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. So I don't make the market. I only interpret it. The market this week states that selling your home at $500,000 is the price that's going to get it done.
I just really thought we can get 550.
Yeah.
That would be nice. My neighbor's house was 550. Mine is 28.
Don't be surprised. So at that point, I want to talk about a little bit what happened. So the question is, do you want to stay here and wait for the market to continue to decline, or do you want to improve your price now and get your home sold so that you can be in San Diego settled in by January?
You're right. I need something else. I cannot manage it. There's no way.
Yeah. So there's different scripts here on bringing them back to motivation, but when you're having these conversations, this is like, I would think of numbers because they're writing up here, but you're going to be prepared with what's going on their street, what has sold, what are the rates doing, there's something changed in what she wanted. I always do that with buyers and sellers. When I get them exactly what they wanted, and then all of a sudden it's a maybe, I got to think about it. Whoa. Let's revisit what the motivation is, because I'm here to sell you a home or sell your home, not to just, this is what you hired me for. So maybe I'm missing something. And they're like, no, nothing has changed. Okay, then why doesn't this work?
Absolutely.
And that's what I mean with the script, because I wouldn't say those things confidently if I didn't just know these things.
You guys agree with that, right? You guys hear that? So remember, we have a point for everything today. You guys saw how to get business, 2 different ways, the cold calling, the spears, anything. You guys are seeing the types of conversation of setting the appointments, right? When you first get to the appointment, the expectations you set before going to the listing presentation. And then you got a little bit of more scripts because we want to say them up front, because then Hector later on is going to tell you what he goes to the consultation with. She touched on the script she uses for price reduction. Hector's going to teach us how to actually back that up with more data, and then the way he does it interprets the market during the pricing session that we're going to have right now, okay? So sounds good?
I'm just going to share one.
Yeah, so no,
I'm just going to share two. We're on time. Really good.
We're on time.
Okay. So for a buyer's market on a price reduction, this is from the old gold from 20, whatever. You don't have to say anything. This is me coming back. Okay, so it isn't about your home and whether it's a great home or not. It's about the market. And even though I don't make the market, I do know how to interpret it. The marketplace is telling us that in order to get your house sold and get you to San Diego by January, then we must improve the price. Did you want to do the normal price improvement or the drastic one? The normal one would be $10,000 or the drastic one would be $20,000. So that's one. And then this one, I just thought this is kind of funny, but this one, it says it's for an S personality.
We're afraid of change. So S people are the ones that Sophia said this perfectly. That's where little Jimmy Johnny grew up, you know, the wall markings, height telling, you know.
This one is for if they ask you to market the home more. It says, so let me ask you a question, Jade. If you needed milk at a grocery store, let's say Stater Brothers, and they had it for $2.98 a gallon, and the store very close by, Albertsons, is selling it for $9.98 a gallon, where would you buy your milk?
The cheaper one.
Okay. So what if the store had dancing bears on a corner holding a sign saying milk is $9.98 a gallon? Where would you buy your milk?
I would still go to the cheaper one.
Okay, so what if the store had helicopters and paratroopers jumping out on Spotlight, and on the paratroopers they were holding a sign saying that milk was only $9.98 per gallon? Would you still buy your milk at the other store?
Yes, I'm so gonna go to Stater Brothers.
Of course, because the other store has the best value. See, it doesn't matter how many people I tell about your home, it sells when the buyers see the value. Let's make certain that we get you what you want and position your home to where it will sell. So the question is, do you want to improve the price or reposition your home in a new category where it will sell?
I would definitely hear and
so I'll give you guys
I want monkeys.
I'll give you guys copies of these. Obviously,
The founder of Max Coach Potato, she wrote this. Wow, Sarita remembers that. You forgot about the CD. You just forgot about it. I used to like this. Go bring it out. All right, welcome Sophia. Yeah. All right, I wanna talk about. This is dark.
There's 3 different
I
ones.
wanna talk about where to find it. Where to find it.
Oh, you're gonna do the actual consultation?
No, I'm gonna do this. I wanna talk about where to find it. All right, where to find listings.
I'll do the consultation.
Okay, yeah, you do it. All right, you guys wanna know where to find listings?
Yes, I support it.
Okay, each of you has to give me, each of you is gonna give me an idea where to find listings. So, and you cannot copy someone else.
Okay.
Got it? Yeah. You're each gonna give me an idea where to go get a listing. Everyone here is gonna participate, but you cannot copy someone else or just try to like piggyback at someone else and that change it. Like, it has to be a completely different idea. Okay? And I'm gonna start with whoever has the longest hair first.
Sanya.
Sanya.
Yeah, you said that.
Eric.
Eric, you back. All right, where are we gonna get listings? Okay, so it's SOI. Okay. Who's next? Here, lady.
door knocking.
Door knocking, okay. All right, Aurora.
Cold calling.
Cold calling.
This is black markers,
Yeah.
please.
This class is a little biased.
Oh. Yeah, Gabriel, number 4. Okay, number 4.
Actually, upgrade buyers.
Huh?
Upgrade buyers. Buyers are looking to upgrade. They have a home to sell. So buyers, what would you price?
Upgrade buyers. So
That's
how you,
fine.
okay, how would you find those though?
Marketing, like Facebook ads, buyers.
Oh, okay, so then your idea is Facebook ads. Okay, Facebook ads. FB ads, okay? All right, so hey, he skipped. He didn't know he didn't have the hair. Okay, what's next? We have
This is
Aurora,
nice.
Elena. The girls back there. Okay. Anna.
Is that one of our guests?
Oh,
Is that one of our
community
guests?
events.
Huh?
Community
Our guests.
events.
Community events. Okay. Anna.
Open house.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Community events. Open houses. Okay. How about businesses? B2B. B2B. Business to business. Okay. Aurora? Oh, you did what? Huh? She already said Facebook ads.
No,
Facebook. Oh, for sale by owners? Yeah. Okay. Well,
Has clients.
has clients?
Neighbors.
Would that still be?
I have a big one.
That's
I have a huge one.
That's clients could be kind of a salon.
I have the
Okay.
market.
I'll say they're different. Lashonda?
There you go. That's the big one. Expires.
Okay, expired.
Go
Small
shopping.
offices.
Kids event.
That's business to business. Okay, what else?
When you go
Wait, I
out
want, who hasn't shared an idea? Nagib?
shopping, when I go shopping, talk to people.
So just consumer,
prospect.
so just business to consumer. There's B2B and then there's business to consumer.
You're the business, y'all.
You're the business, okay, business to consumer.
Holding events.
I don't know if it's one of those, but like when I've gone to go get my nails, there's always someone that's next to me getting their nails and asking like, what do you do? You know, I see you here coming every 2 weeks, you know, what is it that you do? I don't know if that's
That's
something.
something consumer, and you're approaching people directly, you know?
Okay.
So I wasn't sharing.
Parties.
Gabe, wasn't sharing.
Event.
Sandra?
All the good ones are gone.
We're brainstorming.
Can I share something?
Sure.
Coming here on the elevator, and I just say to the lady who had a little kid, morning, how are you? And she says, where are you going? And I said, no, I'm just going to a meeting, I'm a realtor. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna be selling the house.
See, always talking
And I got her information.
And that's a sign that you should be a kid.
That is.
Okay, so again, business to consumer, yeah? Talking to people, so not being a secret agent, right? A lot of people want to be a secret agent, right?
Yeah.
Not me.
Okay, what else? Sandra, what a unique idea.
How about Zoom? How about Zoom?
We got a Zoom one.
Sounded like Zoom.
Sebastian said short sales and foreclosures.
Yeah.
Okay, short sales, okay, who else? Yeah, but what's on the table? How do you find them?
Sebastian, did you hear that? How do you find them?
Are you gonna go
Find
find
them
them?
on the MLS with
Attorney.
foreclosures. Trust attorneys.
Just business to business.
Miguel, what else can you do to find listings in today's market?
And the phone call, who do you know that's thinking about moving next to the
So referrals?
Every phone call.
Referrals, okay. That's fair because I get referrals from people that never done business with me, right? So referrals from people that never done business with me. So Gabe, Shanna? If you want to go get listings today, like if I told you, your family will disappear off the planet if you don't give me a listing by Friday.
Obituaries.
Huh?
Obituaries.
Obituaries?
I mean, true.
It's like events. I don't know. This type of market, people have to sell
Dark
cars.
figures.
Sports court.
That's the
Smart,
waters.
smart and recreation, also go football team.
That's business to consumer. Where do you get a listing from? If you had to go get a listing by Friday, or your family would disappear off the planet, like what would you do?
Sell my house.
Someone
Sell my own house.
All right, in addition to the jokes, what else did you do? What else did you do?
Business card,
cancel
Open house.
That's those things.
We're knocking.
Probate.
Going after probate, so.
Have a good night.
So business to business, go after attorneys, right? So I'll put a separate category for that. Okay?
Social media. Oh yeah.
Someone hasn't said that.
Yeah, social media.
Good job.
I consider Facebook as that.
He's like, mine was generalized.
Seminars, networking events.
Okay, so I'm hosting a first time buyer seminar, hosting an investor workshop, hosting a listing workshop for the consumers, right? So I'm going to say seminars. Okay, what else? Anna?
Pop-ups.
Pop-ups? Tell me more about that.
You can basically rent a space to do a pop-ups at events, depending on what kind of, like a booth, yeah, pop-up. Yeah.
Is it have we said mailers yet?
Nobody can My friend, she was at the event yesterday. She's the one that made up the whole event. Her name is Alice Beckler. She's from Kid Riverside. She made it up and then shared it and it blew up. Yeah.
Social media.
What's her name? No, probably something else.
Alex something?
How about church?
Here's Alex, but her last name, sorry.
So
Like with
church, so your church, so you're, again, that's kind of like your sphere, but okay.
We got a couple on Zoom. 30, 60, 90 day delinquent bankruptcy from Biani, and then Sebastian kids sports events.
Yeah, that's what
and Biani farming.
Farming, okay.
Agent to agent referrals.
We forgot farming, yeah?
Yes.
Farming, what else?
Agent to agent.
Door knocking is not farming? Farming is where you're like sending out postcards to your farm, whatever. Okay. What else?
Other agent referrals.
Are you doing a TikTok about us? I like that. Do a little video of all of us.
How about other agent referrals? Can you write that down?
No. Your database. Database is going to cost. I think database. I like putting that separate. Okay,
that's SOI.
SOI. Okay. How about that? How about every time you open your Facebook and it tells you someone's birthday on there? You guys know what that's supposed to do. You're supposed to. This is how you clean up your database, your Facebook. You go on there when there's someone's birthday. You go. I don't know these people, so you unfriend them after you say happy birthday. You block them, right? I don't know why I have a home inspector from New Jersey on mine and compare it, right? Very good business. So you either unfriend someone or you send them a personalized video. I send out a referral to someone in Texas because on my birthday, they sent me a personalized video. Happy birthday, Sophia. Like if you ever need help in Texas, you know, let me know. And I send them a referral because they took the time to make a video on Facebook. And I'm sure that's their lead generation. I'm sure that every day, whoever's on their Facebook, they send a personalized video to them, just saying happy birthday to them, right? So that's good.
I've gotten one of those, and I took some of his little courses for nutrition because he took the time. He's saying happy birthday to me. I never met this man or nothing, but he sent me a personalized singing video for my birthday.
Personalized video.
I'm gonna start singing to you, okay?
Happy birthday.
I'm starting tomorrow with
Oh, he does that. He does the first show. Okay, so sending a video. How about sending a personal message to everybody you know? Like think of the opportunities you have. I like what Elena said earlier. Sometimes you have to understand this. They said that the numbers have really changed. I was listening to Everything Life in Real Estate, which is Dana Gentry and Linda McKissick have a podcast, and they're both KW agents. Linda McKissick is the largest profit share earner in our company. She made $1.8 million. She makes $1 million a year profit share, and just by getting people to the company, so she's the largest profit share earner. And she has a podcast called Everything Life in Real Estate. She's fantastic. And Dana Gentry, they're on it. And they were saying that, like if you were in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, you know, if you have, how many contacts do you need? Like, what percentage of your sphere, Tom Ferry said it yesterday, what percentage of your sphere should be do business with you? Let's just say it's 10% of your database. People that know you, like you, and trust you, you should get 10% of deals in your database. So if you have 300 people in your database, you should get it But one of the best people, this is why going to family reunion is very crucial when we all go to Anaheim in February, is because sometimes you don't have to go wide, you have to go deep. Okay, you have to go deep. And what that means is that it's having more meaningful relations with people that already know you. Like I have a database of 9,000 people. Some of them are old Zillow leads. Like I don't need it. Yeah. But I have 1,200 past clients. That includes the spouses. You know, I sold over 900 homes in the last 10 years, right? But like that includes some other spouses or whatever. So I have 1,200 people in my database.
I take them to coffees. I take them to lunches. I try to do coffees 2 to 3 times a week and lunches at least 2 to 3 times a week with past clients and my top referring people. So do you hear that? Like that is very, that I've done that too. Like if you, that is very powerful because instead of you, just remember this, Gary Keller says this, you can call and text and email people all you want, but at some point they have to see you. Yeah. So the best way to do it is to have client events and they come to you. So like we have a lot of good opportunities to actually to do some Popeyes, and we have the holidays coming up. So think of what could, if you only had $100 to invest in your business, what could you do to go turn that into a transaction? What if you went to Dollar Tree and got some pumpkin baskets, and put candy in them, and drop them off on all your clients that have kids? Right? Those kind of things. I got business during COVID. I went and bought $500 worth of $25 Domino's pizza, like gift cards, and I sent them to just my top referring clients and said, hey, have a pizza night on me. That was when people were not going out. And I got so many deals out of them. Like that $500 made me, I don't know, $50,000. Okay? It was such a good opportunity. So what can you do to go deeper, not wider? Like it makes no sense to me to go work so hard to meet all these strangers when I believe you should start at the nucleus. I believe that you should start here. Here, this is you, right? And then the first people you should hit, the second people you should hit, right? The third people you should hit. I'm pretty good at drawing circles. You are, right? Pretty good. Pretty good at it. Okay, so this is you. To me, is the first people you should hit in that order would be in my case. I'm gonna hit up like my closest friends and family first. Yes, if you're comfortable with that. Some people would rather do this with strangers and family. I get them. Okay, so hit them first. So to me, personally, for me is I'm gonna like be honest with yourself. Is every single person in your iPhone in your database? No. You guys have the best technology on the planet with command. You guys have the ability for it to touch people 36 times a year.
I think there's a smart plan for that.
Yeah, 12 emails, 12 text messages, 12 phone calls, and client event a year. So is every single person in your phone in your database? Every single person. Do you have every single person's birthday on there? Do you have a smart plan set up so they get a birthday email from you? Like, do you have them tagged by occupation? That way, I know I have 11 nurses in my database because on Nurses Day, they get a gift from me. Wow. You know how many law enforcement people we have? You know, when you tag them by occupation in our database, it'll say they're plumbers. So that when I need a plumber, I told Jennifer in our property management company, use my past clients. Refer the people that have done business with you, refer them first. Right? Where else are you gonna find this thing? This is a mastermind, guys. Let's help each other. Because right now, the point is for you to leave this class, and I'm letting you know we're doing the calendar huddle. We brought the best training. Like we've done 2 or 3 classes every single week for 6 months in a row. And you know what? I told the team we're gonna do a calendar. We're gonna go to the holidays. Yeah, you guys have to go? No. Yeah, you guys can go. Hey, October, November, December's coming. The holidays are coming, and we get less attendance in the classes, and it takes too much work. So I told them, okay, the next 90 days, we're gonna go live on the calendar because I need them to go kick ass and do everything we taught them the last 6 months.
What's so good about this is we can be very intimate, and there's time for us to ask the questions that we need to ask and people to get more one-on-one.
Yes, I love it. And every class we taught the last 6 months is recorded in our private training calendar. So anything we've taught, we have a private channel, you can catch up. Yes.
There's 2 things that I do. During Christmas, I send out Costco and Sam's have the cheapest nice baskets under $20 and some more. But all my clients or past clients, I'll send them something for I mean, and they mail it from Costco to them. You don't even have to worry about it.
Oh, nice.
Just plug in their address. There is a limit, so I have to use my daughter. There's like 10 or 12 that you can do. I do that, and also cold. They always have the nicest blankets. They're like $40, but I always get them when they're like before Thursday. What is the Black Friday? Yeah, I get them for like $7 something. They're nice blankets, and if they have kids, they have to do it. And those I do hand deliver to the most of my homes are local. So I go and I take it. They love it. Parents, you know, yes. Us as parents, grandparents, you love our kids. Yes. We love you more.
And let me give you guys a tip that I haven't brought up in a while that I want you to do because I thought about it yesterday when all these Halloween decorations, I would throw them away. Okay, I'll be honest with you, my mom took them out of the trash. And then brought them to the market and they're like, oh my God, they're cute. Why did they throw this away, right? But I guess people have this stuff around, you just throw it away. Anyways, this is a very important thing. Like, think of your business owner, you want to save money, yeah? So right now is the perfect time. So what you do is go to Costco and get the tins are $7. They have them right now, the black and the yellow, you know? And then what you do is you go get a tin for every holiday. Okay, so you're gonna get pick 4 holidays. So you're gonna do it. Go buy a tin for each one, and then this is gonna get you listened, okay? Get a tin for each one, and then put the holiday outside. Christmas, Halloween, whatever your holidays are. But try to space them out, like maybe St. Patrick's Day, maybe Mother's Day, whatever it is that you're gonna pick. And then what you do is, and I know an agent that does this at a high level, she's so frugal, and I loved it, and I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So what you do is you don't go buy stuff for it. What happens is the day after Halloween, you go get everything on clearance and you fill up your basket for the next Halloween. Get it? Yeah. So then for Christmas, the day after Christmas, you get it for the next year, just like that. You fill up your stuff. And I did that. I got this cute $7 socks for 99 cents. And then I went and got them on clearance for like 33 cents. And then I mailed them in a little envelope from Dollar Tree. You know, the little envelopes. And then I sent them and they say, hire a realtor that will knock your socks off. Right? Send your husband to knock your socks off. And send little cute Halloween socks for them. I can tell you those things matter because going deeper in your database, not wider, is going to do it. Because we all know that is there agents in the industry that are killing it with one of these things? Yeah. Is there? I could find an agent that's making over $1 million on any one of them. Yes. So the mistake happens is that and some cost money, some don't. Yes. Yes. But they all require work. And they all require you to take it very serious. You're willing to work 40 hours a week for a paycheck. Why not work 40 hours for yourself? Yeah. So today we're gonna mastermind and get some ideas going. And where are you gonna go find listing? And you have to be listing focused because now we have a solution for people. They sell their house. We have the East West Bank guy. We will get them into a replacement home. The East West Bank, 4.625 interest rate on that. So my opinion is this: like make sure that every single person on your iPhone is in your database. I bet you that I already did. You call them and say, hey, I want to stay in touch with you. Any questions? Right now, what's cool about the market is that there's so much uncertainty. So people would want to engage in conversations about the real estate market. With 8 months ago, they're like, no, homes are expensive, rates are low, we already know. Right now, there's like what's going to happen and uncertainty, so they want to have real estate conversations. So right now, what would your business look like if you really called every single person on your iPhone and put them in your database? Right? What would that look like? How about every single person in your Facebook? How about every single one of your friends on Facebook is in your database? Did you know you could export it and import it into command? How about LinkedIn? Everybody in your LinkedIn are in your database, right? If you start there with the people you know, and then work on the people you don't know, because then that's right. It is proven that if you only work on referrals, you'll cap out at about 25 deals a year. Period. But if you want to sell 100 homes, you have to work with it. It's very easy. Real estate is not complicated. You're gonna find listings of people you know and people you don't know. Yeah. It's only people you know, people you don't know. So where else are we going to find some listings? Where else? What else can you do? Where else? Popeye going deep in the relationship. So I like what Elena said. If I really have to get a listing, I promise you, somebody you already know is going to buy this off because they have to sell. And go deeper in those relationships because sometimes you're hunting for people you don't know. And then you forget that the people you know, well, I already called them my database. The database is not that big. But you have not called everyone on every single one of your platforms. You have not called, they're not on your database, right? and go deeper. And I promise you, this is, if I had to pick, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Brian Houdini system teaches you to separate people by tag them by category. My database is tagged. An A+ client is someone that closed 1 or 2 deals for me, or more. 1 or more deals for me, 2 or more. A, they refer me at least 1 person. A B is someone who's my past clients are all B, unless they send me a referral 1 or more. Okay, and then a C client is like a lead, someone that I met with and didn't hire me. They're still in my database, and that's it. So everybody's tagged. So if in a day you're only going to call 5 people, who would you call? The people that already like you, trust you. Another thing I started doing is I started labeling my A+ people, the people that are in some kind of position where they have access to more people. Like you, that's why it's very important that you categorize your database by application. That's why Command has a tag where you can put it. You can put someone is a manager, a leader, like
you can make up tags. Jeez.
Yeah. You can make up any tag you want. But the point is this: like, who do you know that? Like, for example, my client with Dr. Gill, he's done so many. I sold a $2 million purchase and got 40 grand from him right a month ago. Right?
Was it that house?
Yes, I sold it. Yes, yeah, so such a beautiful house. Yeah, so I sold it. I still haven't got the buyer approved yet. That's me. I'm gonna have something really made beautiful to make up for it. But anyway, I went in some areas I know. Okay, so with him, he said make business. So I'm gonna give him a nicer gift than the actual client, because he's my VIP client. So these are, if you're gonna make calls, who you're gonna call is those people. So I encourage you, the market's uncertain. If you're not in front of your people, remember, sometimes we have the misconception, well, these are my clients, my leads, they're not yours. They're being hit up every day by Zillow, Redfin, and other agents.
I focus on my VIPs,
yeah,
and then everybody else calls the news. But I focus on my VIPs.
Yeah, so if you want to get a listing, ask yourself, who is it that you talked to the last year that didn't hire you, that hasn't sold yet? Because maybe it didn't make sense for them to sell. And now we have a product where you can put them in a replacement home at 4.625% interest rate with no closing costs, no amount, and only 3% down. Who can you talk to? And I like what Elena said, because I promise you, if you actually go visit people and actually have coffee with them, that is the best form of lead generation. And then if you read the 7 levels of communication, what you stack the appointment. With that, I've done that. I'll go to Denny's, and then I'll make an appointment from I'm crazy, 6 to 7, right? Then I have 8, 9, and 6. I'll make appointments at Denny's. Say, hey, I'm gonna be in Denny's. I know Denny's is not cool, but they open early, okay? And the food's So pick a place where they're not gonna. And you tell them ahead of time. I say, hey, I'm gonna be stacking appointments here, and I do this when I interview people too. I'll stack my interviews at a restaurant and like this, like back to back. It's called stacking. Where else are we gonna get listings from? You guys all, does everybody want a listing this week?
Yes, right?
Like by Friday, y'all get a listing. Where are you gonna get listings from? You're not gonna go have a seminar. Who's having open houses this weekend?
Exactly. That's the easiest.
I need somebody
thing.
for Saturday and Sunday for my Marietta pool home, because I'm doing mine in Winchester.
Okay,
so anybody's available.
Anybody's available to open house? Okay.
It's a good opportunity. Get with Elena.
Get with Elena. Okay, you guys, listen, at the end of the day, we can, this is the number, step number 1 is go find the listing. Then after you work so hard, it makes no sense. You work so hard to get it in front of that client and get set that appointment.
Or do you not know what to say?
Yeah, now the script rolls in and now the presentation. Now you're showing up early. Because remember, people are looking for reasons not to hire you. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna hire this person today. So they're not looking for reasons to hire you. So now you show up early, prepared, dressed right. You do your homework, you have your presentations, you put out your technology. And new agents, let me tell you something, you have an advantage right now. The advantage is that the consumers don't know who's experienced or not. You do not have a sign on your sign that says I haven't sold one yet. They don't know that. You can go in there and with your script, you can come out more confident than anyone else and get the listing or an experienced agent that didn't bring the tech with them or the presentation.
Or thought they had it in the bag, but they just,
got it? No. All right, give me another idea. Where are you gonna get a listing by Friday? If you have to go get a listing by Friday, where are you gonna go get it? Not any ones you already have. Like if you have to go get a new client Friday, where are you gonna go? Door knocking, Mike, because I've been already doing mine. Perfect. Whole area. You've been door knocking and having conversations. That's pretty big. Okay, yeah, but one of the things I told Claudia is that Claudia is very good at giving her business card out. Like never. Like I've never seen. And I told her, stop doing that. Like throw your business card and tell people, I just ran a business card. Can I please have your name and number?
That's why I didn't take it yesterday.
I don't know. Claudia is the queen of business card. She does that. But they, I don't know if you know, there's statistics on this. They like rarely will someone ever call you.
I've actually, because of Sophia, I just made a video today on Facebook saying the training is just amazing. Like there's just a lot of things that I put out and start getting more laser focused. What's one of them? So my database is at least 3 to 5 a day now, just by neighbors.
Perfect.
Because and the other day I was coming out of my house and this guy's like, oh my God, I missed you the other day. I lost your card. Can I get another one? I said, I think I have your name in my database. What's your name again? You tell me. And I do have it. So I mean it just I want to get my area.
Yeah, get consistent, you guys. Be consistent because let me tell you something. You could also buy leads. And guess what? They convert at less than 2%. Nothing will beat having coffee and lunches. If you're gonna eat, don't eat alone. You're gonna eat anyway, that's what you eat with somebody. How much money do you invest a month in coffees and lunches?
About $100.
$100?
Because I'm really focusing more on the coffees and the lunches.
Good job. I'm proud of you. You went down. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, because I'm trying to reduce. Hey,
Yes, take a picture, Liz.
Can I add something?
Sure.
Of course. So, if you are starting out and you don't have the money to buy the Popeyes, so when I first got into real estate, I was selling stuff on eBay to make money to pay for before what I needed to spend on pastime. I was spending on my marketing. I was selling stuff just to get the money to do it. Yeah. But now what I do for every transaction, I set aside 20% to go back into my business and start doing that. Yeah. Start setting aside 20% out of every paycheck to go back to pour into your business.
That is the MRA.
It's huge. It made such a huge difference in my business when I started doing that.
That's a great pointer. That's huge.
I think it helps for the newbies because you don't know that. And you're like, where am I going to get the money to buy these Popeyes? Or to buy thank you cards?
Put it aside of every transaction and
have a garage sale, make some money, and
you don't have to spend a lot of money. Yes,
be an entrepreneur.
Go to LA.
Callejon. Can you say it in English?
Alleys. There you go. There you go. You know what I mean? So this is huge. Knowing how to get you guys, we have a listing presentation competition. A whole video on YouTube already taught by Sophia. So what we're gonna do is just hit key points that top producers really struggle with. You guys really need to hear. We're already at the appointment. You guys know how to get it. You guys heard how Aurora opened up the conversation. You guys heard how Elena, even though it's a referral, still 100% to make sure that she's using a full experience for presentation. We learned about the mistakes and the do's and don'ts, right, that other top producers have done at the consultation. So now it goes into, you're at the appointment, you guys. You showed them your pretty presentation. Also give you guys a copy of this, but it's irrelevant because what's important and what's important to know in this market is what? How to price a home. Pricing is everything. So that brings me into Hector. Let's give Hector a round of applause. Just going through like the key points. This is what you gotta say. You already heard how Aurora gave a script for that. He's gonna go into, he just met with me, so I'm gonna role play with him a little bit. I didn't tell him this, but he's got this. About how he's gonna have the first conversation, then I'm gonna step away and he's gonna know what he does to actually get that number. Then I'll go back in later on pretending that he's doing a price adjustment.
I'm gonna go into the thing first, and if you want to add.
There you go. Okay, there you go. He's a man on a mission.
So, you guys go to listen to equipment, you go to the front, you do the door knocking, you do the cold call or whatever. Before I go into what I was gonna say,
I did.
I just want to be realistic with you guys in terms of like when you guys are thinking, I'm gonna go door knock and go cold call, right? And Tim, Sophia brought it up earlier. Tim Howell is one of the like huge mega agent out in Texas, and Austin, Texas, I believe. And that's where I've seen it. When I started cold calling, I saw the video from him, and then I verified that in real life, right? So if you guys are gonna cold call, you're gonna door knock, what is the approximate time you think if you're door knocking and cold calling before you get them to actually do business with you? How long do you think that's going to be?
6 months.
A year plus.
6 to 9 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
If you're going to door knock, you're going to cold call, right? Expect your average rate to be 18 months out. We do it because I've been dialing for like 5+ years, right? The reality is it's not impossible. I've had people that I've had a conversation with, cold call, complete stranger, and in that very day, gone into the listing. I've had people where I've door knocked, that very day I take a listing. But the reality is it's not going to be like right away. That's just the reality. I don't want to sugarcoat it, right? I'm just like studios that we're not going to love on you to fail. We want to be realistic with you. And we're able to do it because we have a dynamic where I'm usually out there and just calling or darn knocking, whatever, and then she's nurturing them until they get to the closing table, right? But anyways, we want to touch on that so you guys kind of focus you guys strategize where you guys want to lead gen based off of that. Okay. And I brought up Tim Powell because when I saw it, I was like 18 months, and I can verify that that's actually what's happening in our business. It is about 2 years. It's about 2 years. A lot of people just see like, hey, we're going to have deals closing, we got a bunch of deals closing, but what they don't see is that we've been following up with them for like 2+ years, sending mailers, doing warm calls, just following up via text or whatever, right?
And to add to that, Hector, farming too.
Yeah.
Farming.
Yeah. Farming is another strategy, right? Farming safe. So farming is different than door knocking. Farming, you go out there and you're making your own farm to where you're knocking on the same 300 or 500 homes once a quarter, or however often you want to know, to where you're known in the area, right? We have a farm that we dropped the ball in. Like I was known in that farm, like no one's business. It's a farm where I got my first deal. I had 4 deals going on, 4 listings going on at the same time. In that street, I sold 7 homes, but I haven't door knocked it in like 6-7 months. So that's like I'm always thinking about my time, but I need to go back and door knock and support.
7 homes, wow.
Yeah. So going back to like the whole thing, if you're going to the appointment and then you go to like the pricing of it, right? When does pricing start when you're going on a listing?
Oh, I can answer. I can't.
Right? This is an open question, by the way. This is where you guys
Everybody participate.
When does pricing start?
There's no wrong answer.
I think the first conversation I have them at the property right away and see.
Okay. So that's true. Yeah, it starts with research, right? CMAs, and obviously you guys are gonna get to a point where you're gonna be able to bust out a CMA in like 5 minutes. If you're newer, it took, when I remember going back, it took like 2 hours or whatever to figure it out. But once you get seasoned in it, it's like 5 minutes. Okay, this is price. Every now and again, you do have these one-off properties that are not necessarily cookie cutter that you have to just do for research. But the pricing strategy actually starts on your pre-qualification, right? Whenever you pre-qualify them, one of the questions that you ask, hey, Gabriel, so tell me about it. What's a price you won't go below?
600.
600. Cool. So at that point, I'm knowing, okay, he's either at 600, I'm writing it down. What I'm also doing is I'm going over to 3 different websites. I'm going over to Realtor.com. I'm printing out their comps. I'm going over to Zillow, printing out their comps. I'm going to Redfin, printing out comps.
Write that down.
Why do I do that?
Because that's more than likely what they call it. That's what they know from.
Consistency.
Those are the websites that they call.
Yes. So everybody here knows like how to just Google. You can Google your home and it'll take you to the website, right? That's big. So you got to know what to expect. So it starts from the call. Hey, what's the price won't go below? Okay. Now I know we can be realistic or unrealistic. I'm gonna have a challenge with pricing. So you print it out, and when you print something out, you print it out in color. Please, if you have anything that's facing the customer, print it out in color, right? It's the little details, and one thing that when it's part of our team, anything that's customer facing, like we have to make sure it looks good, right? So that is a direct representation on us and the team and the attention to detail. If I'm showing up with a net sheet that's black and white, what did I say about myself to my team? right? So it's down to the very little detail, So you ask that question, right? And just so I can stay in it.
We appreciate it, you know.
Yeah. So, okay, so realtor.com. So after you go through all the consultation too, and when you get into pricing strategy, I asked the customer one thing. I was like, Mr. Customer, on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest do you want me to be? 1 being completely deceiving, lying, and 10 being truthful and transparent. What do you think they're going to say? Right? And I do that because these are conversations that are normally hard, right? Most of the time, customers think their home is worth X amount, when in reality it's worth this amount. So I'm prepping them that they might not like what I have to say, right? And I found that made it a lot easier for me to have those separate conversations, right? Because I'm like, hey, I'm not going off of what I think this, but I'm going off of facts, So that kind of lets me go in and speak freely about it. So we see the same exact. I use that script in different areas. Sometimes when it comes to pricing, sometimes you go into the house or the home is like upside down, it's a mess. It's like, how honest you want me to be about your shelves? Let's get this thing cleaned up and do the right thing, right? Jay, where'd Jay go?
Oh, she just.
I emailed something to the front desk. Is there a way by chance you can bring it out? I don't need it right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a pre-listing packet, and then there's a actual listing packet, very similar to the. So whenever you guys go and you price, right? Let's just use an easy good at home for example. What are some of the comps? I'm just going to tell you guys what are some of the comps that I use to for that. So I do 1 to 2. 1 to 2 active homes. Okay. Everything that I do, every one of these things that I select for my CMAs is telling the story. Right? You gotta start thinking, hey, what am I going to try to portray to the? There's another one that I use. So what am I going to try to tell them as I'm going through this, right? And I want everything to line up with the story that I want them to see. I'm not doing it to deceive them. I just want them to see the reality, right? And some people are very direct, where you're like, I'm not going to go into depth in this. But there's some people, most people are SCs, where I'm going to have to break it down and say, like, how many homes? Look at this. As I'm going through it, I'm going to have to read out loud. How many beds? 4 beds. How many baths? How many square feet? How does it compare to yours? Like, you have to slow down and do that. Some people you won't, but it's better if you have that just in case, right? So 1 and 2 actives. I do 1 to 2 pendings. Right, and this is when I'm selecting homes, by the way. 1 and 2 pendings. I do 1. One expired. Why do I do 1 expired?
Show them.
What am I trying to show them?
It didn't sell.
It didn't sell. So that's exactly what I want to show them. Is I want to show them the fact that there is a possibility of a home not selling with the wrong agent, right? The script, no script, it's like, hey, I would just hate for you to have a weak moment, right? Weak agent, just because they want to tell you what you want to hear, Okay. So that is Cloud CMA. If you guys are not, there's different CMAs you guys can use, but that's just the one that's we found super easy. It's broken down and it's super easy to read, especially for most consumers. And that's actually an example of a listing we took. Literally, that's right here, right? And then the same thing for him. The seller on that one was a little more. He's a business guy. He has plenty of homes. I didn't have to go into detail because he was like, tell me the numbers, right? But I wanted to go back to the expired. I wanted to expire because I want to add a sense of uncertainty, right? Listen, if you don't hire me, there's a possibility that you're not going to be in San Diego by December. That's why I do an expire. Super, super important. And then when it comes to close, I do 3 to 4 close, right? Depending on their personality type, or if it's a unique home, something like 4. If it's cookie cutter home, something like 3, keep it simple. right? And what I do with the close is I do one that's on the lower end. I usually start with the lower end, I do a really high end. And I do something in the middle. So why do I do that? Right? So as I'm going through these homes, they're going to start imagining how does this compare to their, right? And I'm using what I've asked them on the pre-qualifying script. How does your home look like? I'm imagining in my head what their home's going to look like before I even walk in there. Because I don't want to use my comps where they're telling me, oh, my home looks a certain way, and then it'll throw off my pricing strategy, you know? Because what if their home is, you know, super overbuilt, and I'm over here using lower ends? Then they're gonna think, oh, okay, these old homes sold this. I'm thinking of pricing it this much more. And it's easier to keep someone in like a range as opposed to having them guess, because their guess over here could go way out, right? Their guess could be way out. I try to do that on purpose, right? To keep them in the middle. And sometimes it is higher or lower depending on it. Because sometimes we walk in there and the home, they're saying, you know, my home is fantastic, and you go in there and it's far from that. You know, or sometimes it's the opposite. You go in there and say, hey, my home needs a lot of work. You go in there and it's great. You know, all you need is decluttering. So I let them select that. And that's another thing about pricing too. And I showed us in the last class, I never pick a price. I educate them on what the market is doing and let them and ask them, hey, Mr. Stella, what price do you think will get buyers excited and ultimately get the price of the home sold? Right? And that's something I tell them up front, hey, look, when I was new to this, I used to commit to people, but you know, at the end of the day, I like to sleep at night. And I like to market and make the property exclusive property, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean, the buyer and the market is ultimately going to decide the price. Right? And it just goes back to that. So let's using this as an example, right? So I have those sold here. This is an actual live example. This is at $590. Those ones $599, $590, $615, $649, $650. And whenever you guys do this on Cloud CMA, I put it in that order for that reason, because it just adds it for you in like a mixed order. But I on purpose move everything in the right order so it's you know helping me tell my story. So as you go through it, that close, right? This one closed at $590, $615, $649, $650. Right? This is just an example. And another thing that you guys have to know before you go on this appointment is that you guys got to know and start identifying yourself as the expert, right? Because everybody now knows that the rates went up, right? You're seeing it, reading it all over the place. But before it was all over the news, like I was having these conversations before it was already in the news because I studied the market, right? And as much as people get into the industry because they like homes, they like opening doors, homes are beautiful, you're not going to be able to feed your families because homes are beautiful, right? This is at the end of this is business, right? And we do it obviously for the right thing. We put their needs before ours, but the fact is you got to be able to perform to get your business, you know, off the ground and keep it successful, right? So write this down. So we're going to use something called an RPR.
Yes. You can delete the book too already. Erase it.
I honestly don't use RPR. So this is something that's going to help you guys price, right? RPR. And this is actually on the MLS. If you go to the MLS, you have a bunch of tabs. This is one of those things that you generate a free report or whatever. And it's like 30-something pages long. It has so much information or whatever. I honestly don't use that. I mean, I can, but I just don't. I just use InfoSparks.
RPR stands for Rapid Property Report.
Yeah, I use InfoSparks. If you use RPR, it just depends. Tomato, tomato is different. Whenever we go on listing appointments, and especially right now, I have our computer up and running, and I have it on InfoSparks. And before that, I'm studying the information. So when I click on, okay, this is how, so they're seeing the chart. Okay, this is the days on market, right? or let's say sales price, right? You see the sales price or whatever, and now it's like trending down. So I know what I'm clicking on before I actually talk to them about that. But they can see the story behind it. There's some tabs where you say inventory, and inventory is going down. It doesn't really, I don't click on that if it doesn't make sense for what I'm trying to tell you. You know? So just do your research, right? I show up with the InfoSpark on my computer and just show them, look, this is what the market is doing. How necessary is it for you to be in San Diego in the next 2 months? Mm-hmm. You know, or do you have time for it to sit on the market? You know? Mm-hmm. As far as like getting deeper into like how you select the homes, right? I mean, you can use a couple strategies to like narrow down what you're selecting aside from trying to tell the story. Is typically if you wanted to go super narrow, you could go like, let's say for example, it's built 2007, right? Then you go 10 years above and 10 years below to get like really like get comps in the area. Sometimes you have like neighborhoods or you have like different built years or whatever. You could also do square footage, right? Let's say a home is 3,000 square feet. You go 500 above, 500 below that. So I use it depending on the situation, depending on the tract home, depending on the home, stuff like that. And you typically go out, for those of you guys that are newer, you get the home and you go out 1 mile around. 1 mile. There are instances when you have unique homes where you have to go out further than that. Right, after 2 miles, it depends. Right, let's say for example, you have a tract home that's in a tract, but it has like an acre of land. It's just like one of those, off the ball homes. Yeah, exactly. Unicorns, they have to kind of use a different strategy, but that's more or less it. So going back to this, and when I show this to the seller on this particular property, this property has a tenant in it. And the tenant like has a ton of stuff, the home needs repairs. It's definitely pretty bad shape. It's a big home, it's a 3,500 square foot home. And I was thinking around like 600 to 610. So when he told me like what price do I feel, I'm like, okay, well I'm thinking around 600 to 610 or whatever. And then he himself, based on when I showed him this quickly, he himself picked the price. I was $599. And in my head, I'm like, hell yeah. That is in a good situation. Now, the reality is you're going to have your sellers that don't want to price at that. Right? Don't want to price that. So you're going to have sellers, no, my neighbor sold at this, blah, 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 blah. So that's prescription. I'm not going to go into that. I have another one right now where we listed and got to the point where I showed the data, still wasn't convinced. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's list the price. We'll give it a week and a half. And if we have no showings, no offers, we'll go ahead and amend the price to the decimal price. And then you include that into the listing agreement. So up front, you're doing that. Like, I'm gonna come back to you and we're gonna talk to you about reducing the price. So it's not gonna be surprising.
And what is he doing, you guys? Setting an expectation, right? You guys saw Jenny's notes earlier. Now she's on the thing. 100% accurate, you're hitting it the nail on the freaking head that you're telling them that you're going to go revisit the number. You're basically telling me that the market's speaking, not you.
Yeah.
Like you're coming with data saying that the market's pricing it. So I love that you're doing that. It's a big, already is he not standing out to you guys? How many of you guys are doing this, honestly? Few of you, right? So thank you, Hector, sorry.
Yeah, of course. So a lot of this stuff is not new. I mean, I've learned this over the years from people in the office, from Sophia, from other agents, a bunch of it just online, family reunions, so on and so forth. So you're kind of just like picking and choosing what works for you and your team, right? What works for me may not work for you. You might find something that's better, and that's cool. I'm just sharing with you guys what works for us, right? So going back to the other listing that we had, which should be closing here soon. But they didn't want to list it lower. Didn't want to list it lower. I had that expectation with them, and I said, hey, listen, we've had this many showings, no offers. Everyone, their feedback is this. I'm emailing feedback. The market's saying that the home is overpriced. Right, let's go ahead and amend the price now, because what I don't want you to do is, remember the slide that I went through with you in person, where it's chasing the market down. I just don't want that to be, right? And an example that I went through too is I share the story now because I learned from it, right? So I had a listing that I had the pleasure of working with Brian here at Keller Williams Lakes back in like 2019 or whatever, where it was, we ended up, I thought a good sales price was 450, or sorry, 420. 420, the seller wanted 450, right? I went ahead and we listed it for 450, let it sit in the market for way too long. How much do you guys think we ended up selling that listing for?
400.
400.
384,000.
I have a question. How long did it take?
84 days.
84 days. Wow. That's the market we're going into.
Mm-hmm. So I used my experience with that, and I said, look, that happened before. I just don't want that for you. You know, so let's do the right thing and price the right. You know, so I used that, and then he dropped the price from I think it was 685. I'm sorry, 585 down to 549. You know, big chunk. You know?
Even more so now, I think buyers are. I'm hearing a lot of buyers. The buyer's waiting to see if the seller's going to do another price reduction. So buyers are not like jumping to make their offers. They want to see how low that they're going to.
And you guys, what Lena just said, use that in your script when you're in front of these people. When you're setting that listing appointment, use what she said, this story, as an example.
They're basically turning the tables on how hot the seller's market was. They're trying to turn the tables.
Script. Yeah. The script, and there's a script for that. You know, everything that I say is freaking script.
It's a script.
Whatever you like, call it robotic or whatever. I just love scripts. It's made me a ton of money, and
woo, ton of money.
That's what matters.
Over 200K.
But not just besides money, I've been able to help people do things that I know is in their best interest, and holding them back from like they're scared or whatever, and you say the right thing at the right time with the right tone. Blah, 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 it'll get them thinking, right? Logic makes you think, emotion makes you act, right? So yeah, I just use that story, drop the price, and the next video was sold. Right? That's pretty much it. There's really no, I mean, I can get into depth on like what I was like something, but
yeah, and price, the price reduction conversation.
Okay.
So we're going to go into the price reduction conversation because reality is some of you may be afraid, may do this, right? So he set the expectation already. It's okay if you didn't, because you can always go back and have a conversation. So did you always set the expectation up front always, or have you ever had a point? See, always set the expectation. Some of us have not, but it's never too late to go back and do that adjustment. So Hector, I am your seller. My home is listed at 580. You know for a fact that would sell, we did the price reduction at 550. You know for a fact. Okay. So right now you came to my house because you're having a conversation about me dropping the price. Yeah. Okay, ready?
And just FYI, these are conversations you want to have in person.
Always.
In person. And you come ready with data, do your research, come with person. If you're on the phone, it's one thing, but if you're like, if you took the time to personally come in and talk to them, like, this is a little more serious, right? They're going to take it a little more serious because you're taking the time out of your day to go and talk to them.
And also, I've had that driving, you're doing research online, but then driving to the actual appointment, like we had a listing there right now, where there's a for sale sign all of a sudden down the street, there's not a listing. It gives you the opportunity, right? So you can get there early to call the listing agent to see what they're going to possibly price it at. Just so you know for a fact all of your data. That's just personal experience this time. Awesome. Ready and see.
All right. Hey Jay, thank you for having me over.
Of course.
And listen, I wanted to just come by real quick and just stop by and share with you just some data that I've seen on the market real quick. Can we see now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, great.
See.
So remind me again, you told me that you needed to be in San Diego by January, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of disappointed. Like I thought we'd have so many more offers, you know?
Yeah, we definitely went into it, definitely, advantageous on it and made sure that we wanted to market the crap out of this thing so we can, obviously, market the stage to make sure we post the right people, so it's ready to really enable buyers. So as I was doing the research, right, because I'm always proactively seeing how we can help our clients, right? And the reality is, if you wanted to be in San Diego by January, you know, we've had it on the market now for 3 weeks or a month or whatever. And we've had this many showings, and I've come with like a report of how many showings we've had. This is the feedback of everyone that's responded to me, right? It's either the pricing, the ones that are bigger, the room is small, where the case is, or needed a lot that wasn't, you know, as small or a bigger lot, whatever. So this is it. So right now, Jay, what the market is telling us, based on this, we've been on the market almost a month. We've had, you know, some showing but no offer. The market is telling us that the home needs a price increase. Right. Now I know it's important for you to be out there by January, right? And remember the chart that we had on where you're chasing the market down, right?
Yeah, I saw the one that you drew on the paper.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, and I thought we're still going up myself too, and that's why I told you let's go ahead and come at this price.
Yeah.
The fact is, if we, you know, when we amend the price down here, what do you think is going to happen? Again, in the sense of like, this is the price, this is the values, and these are what homes are, I'm sorry, this is the values are of pricing, and these are what the sold are, right? And I just have a chart there for us, whatever. So I think it's time for us to amend the price, right? To a price where it's going to still get buyers excited and ultimately, you know, get you down to San Diego.
What are you thinking?
Well, Jay, I'm honestly thinking that a price reduction would be that'll still get buyers excited, would be $549.9. Okay. And then you still have a possibility of still selling it for more than that, right? Because what I don't want you to do is I don't want to price it here where you're chasing down the market. And on top of that, your competitors are also catching on to this, but they're pricing it lower than us. What I don't want is for them to use our home to sell theirs. Yeah. Right? So I'm going to suggest we amend the price down to $549.9, right? Okay. We'll remarket the property as we did. We'll do another open house, remarket it, do your ads and stuff like that. And then we'll still have the possibility of maybe selling for a little bit more than that. And that would catch the market while it's still going down, as opposed to trying to catch it, you know, on the higher end and taking being market.
Let's give a round of applause. All right, so I'm gonna be a little bit harder, not too hard. I'm just gonna be the typical, like, I think it's too soon to drop the price. What do you like? I get the chart and everything. What if we just wait like another week or two? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, we can do that. And at the end of the day, yeah. You're the boss, you're on the driver's seat. I'm just here to guide you. Right? I'm here as a counselor. I'm here as not a counselor, but advisor. Yeah. You're as an advisor, and ultimately you're on it. So, yeah. But what is happening at the same time is we get there in a week, Jay. That's right. Is that you're going to add an additional, 7 to 14 days on market. And what do you think the buyers are seeing when it's been on the market now, for 90 days?
Yeah, I guess me thinking about it in San Diego is that's probably going to drop even more.
Right. So what we want to do is get ahead of that, and actually before they think that, let's go ahead and amend the price now, so that again the other competitors won't use our house to sell theirs.
How long do you take to amend something? Like how long do you usually wait?
Well, this market is the price of the one.
It just depends on the person, the price, sometimes.
Yeah. Remember, you guys, the reason why Hector is doing this conversation today makes sense is because remember, you already knew the home was the one. Yeah. When you guys think you're pricing correctly and you are kind of confident in it, it could take up to 30 days before you get an offer. That's the market we're in now. That's the reality of it, right? He's coming up to my sellers.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll see if we should hold that.
Okay, you talk to his too?
Oh, let's do this way because we do have a higher level producer in here. Let's hear what difficulties you're having and maybe he has some advice right now. Like, let's have a serious conversation. It's just us.
This is an issue I found with the pricing. Like you told them up front where it needs to be to sell, but they're already wrapped into the newer property, so they need a certain amount of proceeds. So that's the sweet spots where you have to either get requalified with a different lender or say, hey, you have to find funds from somewhere else because the market's not going to give you what it's giving you. Hey, this is 6 months like I instructed. don't tell me that.
Or a year ago.
Yeah, you don't say that. That's a dilemma that I've seen personally.
Yeah, I would just know and go to the point of knowing up front, like, this is best case scenario, this is worst case scenario. And then work the numbers like in advance are like best case scenario, right? Because it has to do with like them needing a certain amount of net to make the deal happen, or we gotta ask them straight up, well, what's gonna happen if it's still below that? Like, do they have the availability to get funds from something else, or is it gonna break the deal? Because I think it'd be helpful if you as the agent also knew, because if you know, when you're listing a property or whatever, and you know what's the absolute minimum they could take, for it to still make sense and then move it to the new, you know.
Really quick, I also saw a podcast yesterday where this agent is in LA County, but they are doing exactly what you just mentioned to us, where they're listing the price under of the lowest active. The lowest price is 500. The new listing they're advising the buyer saying, hey, this one here's at 500, but if you want yours to sell, you need to come in at 480. If they're listing at least 10% below, that's a big chunk. 10% is a big chunk at 500,000.
I've always used other listings to sell mine. That's been my strategy since
they won.
Yeah.
So that's going to be super important once we get to the listing table, because to bring them back, because most sellers in general right now, they're still put up with the prices of 6 months to a year ago. The reality is that you miss that window period, and it's going to kill your heart, or don't sell. Refinance, stay at your property, go do it. Rather than ridiculous. I don't want to deal with the headache, because the people that are stubborn, they're stuck on the price from before, yet they still need to make financial sense to them, right? So they're getting enough proceeds. Some of them just greedy, my personal opinion, but some of them will make sense, because then you don't need $300,000 to buy another house, right? But either way, to get the most of the house.
And that's perfect, because like I've said it in I've heard this in script training before. You just reminded me. The market we're going into is when I was trained in. You taught me so much. Is that they even said at the initial consultation of pricing, they would say, just so you know, next week another realtor is going to be sitting down with one of your neighbors doing the same conversation, doing the same exact price point. We do not want our home to end up on this chart for them to go lower than we need to be. So I remember them saying that. That was a good one. Think about it. And it's actually really true. So make sure you guys have these conversations. Be as transparent and open as possible with your sellers.
I just said to my listing the other day, can we both agree that refinances a year ago for 2%, and whoever jumped on, great, and whoever didn't list it. And they were like, yeah, so you wanted them to agree. And I said, so can we agree that we're not in the same market we were a year ago to right now? And that automatically was a kind of delete button. So you set them up. And I just said, it was like, yeah,
So
I think a lot of it has to do with like the CMAs, like what story are you telling them, right? I don't even cover this, but like normally we're so used to getting comp for 6 months. The reality is that the race just went up like 2-3 weeks ago. Like I'm only getting 30 days out, close, right? Even before that, before that I was using 2 months, because I was pricing ahead. I was going to what has sold now with the new rates. I'm calling the ones that are pending. Hey, just for curiosity, what are you guys thinking of? Some agents get a little iffy about that, whatever. Sometimes I tell, hey, I have a buyer.
Yeah. You should be honest.
Sometimes I tell people like, hey, I have a buyer. You're pending. My buyer really like that. If it came back on the market, please, I'll reach out to you, whatever. Are you guys asking? You guys would love. So I pretend like I have a buyer. I mean, I do that sometimes depending on the agent. Sometimes the agent is super chill and they share everything, but sometimes they're like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, and it's
they're not KW.
Yeah, it's just really weird.
So if you keep like, when I sit with someone and I go over pricing, right, and their price is not even in my price, I'm like, internally they're gonna ask themselves, well, where am I getting this price from? Right? And that's why I also bring up the realtor.com, Julia, and
I show it to them.
Yeah, you show it to them. Why? Because there's discrepancy. One of them usually like $100,000 below. Yeah. That adds another sense of like uncertainty or whatever.
Do you tell them these are this is the social media, Vulture, Zillow, whatever, and then this is the reality?
Usually that's part of
it.
Before I get into that, I share with them. We understand that everybody has access to the internet now. And just by typing in your address, you're going to be able to see if they have an estimate where your home's going. So in preparation to this meeting, I actually printed out 3 most common websites. I printed out BAM, BAM, BAM. That lets me know that I'm in a whole other level. I'm thinking way ahead. You know what I mean? So anything they, oh, well, Zillow said this. Well, I already went to Zillow. Remember we went to Zillow already? Right? You're not catching me by surprise. I'm like, I'm ahead of whatever you have to say. And that ultimately keeps me going back to that and close. Like, oh, but Zillow this. Yeah, but Zillow's taking data 6 months. You know?
The reality is,
the mortgage at the same price right now is paying additional $600 to $700 a month.
And then showing them, you know, data, doing everything what you tell them is it really works. Because the other day, Sophia was doing, okay, do you want to wait and then sell it for less? Or so I did that with my listing.
Oh, you did?
And I ended up doing ending. You know, I was able to.
Congratulations.
You know,
yeah.
To pay all customer value in order for them to qualify, they needed to have help with the cost of the, so I was able to get that down. So, you know, work it out. So now we're doing the listing.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So put it in place, all that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So, in your example here, your seller picked the price that you want.
Mm-hmm.
If by chance he did not, did you have, you already had a price in mind, right?
Yes.
Based on that data, where would you go? If you didn't come up and say any price at all.
If you didn't go any price at all.
Any price at all. If you already had an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you come up with the idea based on your semen?
Like how did I personally come or how did I present it?
How would you come up with your price?
I just go conservative, man. I go conservative all day. So what I do is I call these pendings, I call the ones that sold recently, and I find out like were there any like special concession what can absolute you burn to get your deal closed. And I say pending, but there's pendings and active under contract. It's basically the same thing. But I'm calling them to see, you know, what it is or how they got into escrow in terms of like pricing. I'm also calling the actives. On hey, you guys have been in the market, this thing, how much what's the activity like, you know? And I use the same strategy. Sometimes I ask as like, yeah, this is coming up. Or sometimes I say, hey, like a potential party that may be interested in this. You know, it just really depends on doing the research from the back end. And I'm always just going to go conservative, right? Because like the example shooting with the gallon, right? People are going to find the value. And if you end up still going into multiple offers, then there's going to bring the value up with it. You know, so it's virtually impossible. I say virtually in strategy. It's virtually impossible to underprice it.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you're pricing to sell. For the market we're getting into, you have to price to sell. I'm sorry. We really do. You have to tell your clients this. We have to price. We're already in it. We always, I know we're in it already, but we're talking about the market that we're going into too. It's already in it, you guys. We have to price to sell. Please, let's shake ourselves right now. 2023, it's already here. It's right now. And tell your sellers that. Hey, we're already in the new freaking year. Right now is the time that we need a price to sell. And guess what? We don't know what's going to happen with the war. Like a lot of things are really going to play effect on our economy. Like this is what the market's saying. Let the market price your home. That's what Hector does. Hector is, and the G team is a perfect example of letting the market literally price the home. He's bringing the data. He has an idea. Great question there. But what if they don't say anything? You have to have an idea of a number in your head, and he's coming to them and letting the seller decide. But you always have an idea. That's.
And to go back to Derek, I actually just learned this in the last listing class where that gentleman came in. What's his name? Okay.
Oh, I freaking love him, Steve Lamont.
Yeah, so you're always learning.
It's on YouTube, guys. Steve Lamont.
So watch that video.
What is it? Steve Lamont. He did an incredible part talking to them.
He teaches like strategies, right? And this, like at the end of the day, you can list it at, I forget what to call it. It's data-driven pricing. You can do it about middle pricing, because I don't remember what it is, and you can do less and more pricing, right? And you let them decide, you know? And they still don't have anything to say, we'll just say straight up things like I'm thinking because of the thing and the right price. The right price will be between this and this, will price will be like the
and the next data.
Before your listing appointment and you have a conversation with the client, part of the interview is, do you know how much your house is valued? Because they already have that number.
Have an idea.
So, yeah, exactly, right? And it really helps because you're already going in with that mindset, oh my God, they're gonna want to price high. So you have to have that conversation at the table saying, okay, well, you told me you had this price in mind, but realistically, if you want this price and how much you want to net, then you just go to your net, because then from your net and what is actually selling, those aren't even realistic numbers.
There you go.
So then if that doesn't work out, they need to sell that and then buy another house. Maybe it's not for them at this present moment, you know, you stay in touch. But then, like I had a conversation yesterday, I threw Alex's loan in place. So I'm like, go get your credit from the new bill, and that kind of balances out when we're short to walk out. You just have to, it's a conversation, it's a numbers game, and it's just communicating, and communication is key.
But here's you're very straight up, you're very honest and transparent.
And so, you know, sometimes you just have to walk away. If they want to sell it at 100,000, believe me, I walked away within the last 6 months, 3 listings. There's no way.
And thank you.
Time is money. You don't want to sound desperate either. Because those are the ones that take most of your time.
Thank you. You brought up a beautiful point when we're going to wrap this segment up. Is what if you have a seller that just refuses to listen, refuses to budge, and I'm just giving you a hard time? And my house is sitting in the way.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I
Or you say, adding to that, yes. If you know it's gonna cost you money to list. Don't be those agents that take pictures from the phone. Don't be that. You always want to be professional. It's gonna always cost you money to list your house. And if they don't want to communicate and you guys can't budge, walk away, because some people don't have that, you know, $900 to market the property.
And that's a great point, because some people already feel, and this is the biggest thing I see in the industry, they feel already, oh man, I already did all this, so they're afraid to let go of this. But how much time is it taking really of your time from the potential other listing that you're avoiding, that other phone call you're supposed to make because you're dealing with this one, right? That's a great point. Thank you. This is a great interactive class, right? I love our office. So Hector, I just absolutely don't want to lower the price. I'm giving you a hard time.
I mean, I would ask you back on questions like going back to your motivation. Like, tell me again, you want to move this by this, and then we're seeing it, you know, sit on the market.
Yeah.
I would go into like the Cape thing that your mom had, right? I don't know if you guys seen the Cape, right? I would go.
It's on YouTube.
I would start bringing up everything in my tool belt to try to get that lower price. And at the end of the day, if they still don't want to lower the price, then I'm gonna just like either just let it sit there and I'm gonna focus on the business, regardless of whether I think selling or not. I'm still focusing on the business. My time is not taken up by all my current business. Like, I'm always looking for new business, because there's so many factors that can happen, right? And especially when you're a new agent, you get a deal, you get a listing, you're a buyer, and you're like babysitting it, where you forget to do the activities that got you the deal in the first place. Right?
There you go. Say it again. So you are
there's times that we will walk away from a listing if their motivation is not there. If they just want to test the market, we will take it. If they absolutely have to, if they have to sell, you best believe I'm going to take that overpriced listing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to counter my confidence in like being able to work them down. Hey, look, I'm calling them like often, right? And especially got Sophia. Hey, it's been on the market one day, had no showing offer. Yeah. We've been on the market 2 days, no showing offer. I'm going to work them.
Yeah,
you know, I'm going to work them. That works them with their mind, their motivation. But if they don't want to test the market, then you know, I took in listings that Sophia said not to take, but I knew that they needed to sell, and I knew I was confident on talking to them about pricing. And sure enough, you know, that's the result.
I go into motivation.
Okay, I think also giving them weekly updates. So for me, I give my clients weekly updates, especially sellers. Like, let them know what the activity was during that week, so they know, you know, what the activity level was. And if somebody's having an open house, get those stats from those agents that are hosting them. Hey, you know, there wasn't any activity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's our iPad.
Most listings we call them once a week.
Yeah,
right. You know, and we take, In the last market, we didn't take down feedback, it was self. Now we're taking feedback and writing down the spreadsheet and saying something. But yeah, it's just feedback, and then they're super overpriced, and I'm bugging them way more often, reminding them they're constantly to them.
You guys, sorry to interrupt, but Antoinette's cute parents are here. Hi. With inflation changing, they're really here to help us help this Latina business owner stay in business, small business owner with increase. So help us help her business grow, and they're here supporting her. That's her mama? This is her mom and her dad. Why should they, ¿por qué deberían de ir a
Sorry.
Milk prep, while you're milk prep, you spend more money cooking at home and like one drive through. So we'll get your healthy meals. Please support their local business. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you. That's so cute. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah,
wait, take a picture. Really quick.
Sorry.
I think we're done with the pricing. Really, I don't know if you have any questions. I got to start dialing at 12, so.
So Hector, really quick, guys. Go to me. Bye. Okay, I stopped her over there. All right, everybody's bring it in, please. Bring it in. All right, really quick. Zoom, I know we promised you this too. We're going into it, you guys. We finally got an offer. This is important information. We'll have a lunch break right now, you guys. But it is crucial information to know. Please, we're going to finish this class. I do not want you guys to leave without getting the full package that I promised you of what it means to accept the offer. And then after you open escrow, Elena's going to touch on the open escrow network. And that's it. That's the entire listing process that we promised to come at you with. So Hector, we did it. I got an offer on my overpriced listing that you helped me get. But in the offer, I'm sure that the buyers are asking for it. What's a common thing I'm hearing? Closing costs. Closing costs. Good job. So closing costs. So you got an offer from me, finally, right? Now we lower the price. Remember, you made me lower the price to $549.9. They came in at $505. I mean at $555. Wow, big shocker. But the offer is that they want closing costs covered. It's my only offer I got, which is common, right? You're having a conversation with you. And I'm throwing you out there right now. But we're all having that, right? This is very common right now. So you called me, right? Or person, whatever. Hello?
I'll call you through that.
Yeah, there you go. You called me. Hey, Hector. How's it going?
Hey, Jay. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Hey, listen, I wanted to talk to you really quick. I'm so excited. We definitely were able to amend that price because you know we had a open house this weekend. Yeah, great news. We do have an offer.
Wow.
There's an offer at $555, right? And they're only asking for $10,000 in closing costs. So that means that your net offer is $545. That's only $5 over what we're actually asking for.
Oh wow. Did you hear that? So different, right? Than they're asking for, hey, it's a $500 and they want $10,000. It's not an and. He's saying, so guess what?
So you're how you're portraying the news is how they're gonna take it. If you're saying it down, 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 they're gonna take it like, oh man, I'm getting short of the stick.
Can you act out the wrong way to say it?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, ready? I know I'm putting him on the spot, but he's incredible, you guys. Okay, I'm a big fan. So ready? Hi, Hector. We got an offer.
Hey Jay, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hey Jay, listen. I just wanted to call you really quick to let you know that we did drop the price on another open house. We did get one offer, right? Okay. They are, however, asking for closing costs.
Oh man, so we have one offer and they're asking for
that's for $10,000 in closing costs. It's an offer at $555, and they're asking for closing costs.
You
You guys see the difference? Like, even me, I'm pretending, but I feel like, damn, like, wow. And he even wasn't even excited with the good news. So the first script, good news, right? So let's go back in. He said good news, got an offer. So now, okay, so asking for, let's go back to the positive. He said, okay, so now we're getting how much?
545.
545. All right, so how does that work? I feel like I have to get the cash up front or?
For the credit?
Yeah.
No, actually that gets taken out from the proceeds, so it's nothing you have to pay out of pocket. It's actually whenever it closes, a part of those proceeds are going to actually go to the buyer for the closing costs. And a lot of that is because of the rates. You know, a lot of people right now, a lot of buyers are actually using that to buy on the rates where they have a more affordable price. And as you saw, the interest rates went from 5 to almost 7. So that means that the average consumer now is paying a little over $600 a month for that same price point.
Awesome. Do you think we should like take that one, or should we wait to get us some right offer from open house?
Well, at the end of the day, like I said, Jay, you're the driver's seat. In my opinion, I definitely, since this is the only offer I really have in the public showings over the weekend, I would definitely do the right thing and accept it. Considering the fact that you do need to be out and blah blah blah, and the fact that you're still paying the monthly mortgage, right? Your payment is $2,700 a month, so please take into account. If you wait for a potential another offer, it could take another 30 days. Okay. And there's that difference right there.
Awesome. All right, then you're right. I really feel like we have more time to waste. And it's not. You said it's $25 grand difference I was making.
Yeah, 25.
And then you told me last week that it'd probably be a lot worse if I waited, right?
Oh, definitely. Then go back into the chart.
Yeah.
All
right, man. So let's do it then. What do I gotta do?
So I'm gonna go ahead and send this to you via DocuSign. You're gonna go ahead and accept it, and then we'll get this thing open for tomorrow. Get you over to San Diego.
So you guys got the appointment. We did the pricing. You just open escrow. Yeah. Come on, Elena. You did a good job. So ready? You open escrow. Now what? And then has this been useful so far? Learning how to get it, where to get it, what to say, with the appointment, the full consultation, you guys. Oh, heck yeah. No, I went. Oh. This way. Yeah. And then, all right, really quick. A lot of you who know the CAPES that Sophia's talking for. You guys are like, what is that? And Hector said he uses it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's curious? Let's hear it. Me. There you go. Who wants to be a teacher? Me. There you go. I was about to open my can of garbanzo beans. I can have protein for that. Okay? So, thank you, Hector. Let's give him a round of applause one more time. Thank you, Hector.
You're welcome. Get to San Diego.
Let's go to San Diego. Actually, one day. This is my CAPE script. And you guys will love it. And I use it. Everybody at the top uses it. My ladies of grace, all my groups use it. Okay. So you're gonna sit with a client, and you're gonna tell the client. And this is why it's very important. I ordered on Amazon a little whiteboard, but like it stands up, because I want to bring it to my listing presentations now. Because now I just write it on a paper, and now I want to set my level up. And have the tech and also have the whiteboard, because sometimes you have to explain things with writing. So I ordered a little Amazon whiteboard, okay? So I'm in front of a seller and I'm gonna tell the seller, listen, at the end of the day, there's 4 things that sell a home. Okay? There's 4 things that sell a home. I like to call it K. C-A-P-E. K, because I'm Wonder Woman, I'm gonna wear my cape, but no. So K is these are the 4 things that sell a home, period. Okay? So number 1 with the home is the condition of the home. You control that. This is an important conversation to have, because 6 months ago, break script, and then I'll explain. Okay. So break script. So 6 months ago, the homes, agents didn't even have to clean them and they would sell. You know what I mean? So I would go take a list and they're like, Sophia, should I paint the wall? I go, hell no. We're gonna get 60,000 above anyway. So don't paint the wall. Remember those days? Yeah. Now we're like, I need you to remodel the kitchen just so I can sell it 50,000 below the market. Understand? Things have changed. So now the condition of the home is very important. Now this is a kind of market where the house doesn't have to be remodeled, but it has to be clean, present well. Like that checklist that we have to prepare the home for sale, very crucial.
But we tell the people, look, there's some things we can change and some things we cannot change. This is not the kind of market where you get dollar for dollar back. So you have to explain that to people, know how to have the conversation. When people say, well, my house has brand new $20,000 flooring, and I say, Sarita, when you got the flooring, it doesn't work that way. Your home doesn't go up 20,000 in value because you spent 20,000 on flooring. It does not how it works. Upgrades, they just make your home more desirable, but they don't add value. They don't add value to your home. So I use my hand like this. I say, look, oh Sophia, I painted my house. I go, you just told me you painted, you remodeled the kitchen, and you resurfaced this, and you did new flooring. Great. Now you brought it up to par. It's not above. They brought it up to standard. So yeah, when you added this flooring, Sarita, did you do it? You did it for personal enjoyment. You didn't do it because it was gonna add 20,000 value. When I splurged on Florida in my rental and rancho because I lived there for 2 years. So I did put 20 grand in flooring on a 1,700 square foot home because I wanted nice flooring, and it paid off because now the home I always get top rent, and I'm about to increase it again another $500. But it works. So you explain that to them. It's very important. My house is better. My house is nicer. My house. You say, look. The only thing you having flooring is going to do for you, Sarita, is that now when they're going to look at 4 homes, buyers can choose what they want. Now, you're just going to sell before the other 3 ugly ones that don't have flooring. You're not going to get more money for it. Understand? Learn how to confidently have this conversation. Learn. Because if you're stuck, you're going to be like, Sophia, my listing hasn't sold. Because you didn't price it correctly, you didn't set the right expectations. And we talked about pricing strategies, right? And it's like right now you price below market, right? You don't catch down. Price below market so you can get your home sold. Because they are going to go down 20% nationwide. They're 8.8% down already. Homes, according to yesterday. So what does KIP stand for? I'm in front of a seller. I'm going to say, Elena, the C. Sorry. Water. Here. My kids think we have the same germ. No, we don't. Yes, we do. No? That was when they were babies. Latina mom eating their kids' food and giving it. Okay. So, condition of the home, sell the home. The A stands for accessibility of the home. The P stands for the price of the home, and the E stands for exposure. So let me explain this to you later, my seller. The condition of the home, let's talk about your home. Based on after I walked your property and looked at it twice. First I walked the property through the eyes of the seller, then through the eyes of the buyer, right? So remember, do not over compliment the house. Claudia. The most beautiful kitchen, because in their mind, it's a big mistake. Their price goes up. But ching. So I literally walk around very neutral. And then, so the condition of the home, walk very neutral. And remember, if you see something like a stain or something on the wall, just walk over there with a concerned face. If you don't have multi like me, you could actually wrinkle your face, and then go over there and like touch it. And like, oh, okay. And just take notes. Don't say nothing. Okay? Don't say nothing. Just like this is me. I'm like, I look at a stain. I'm like. You might just walk by, and then they're thinking like, what is she thinking? Okay, condition is so important right now. The condition tells the home. So we tell the client, look, your home has, and remember, very important. You ask them specifically, have you made any upgrades in the last 3 years? Because if you don't say 3 years, they're gonna say, yes, I put new flooring when 10 years ago. They think it's worth 7.
And they say it's new, but it was 10 years ago.
3 years. I go, what was it installed? You still have their receipt for that. And they'll say, oh no, think about symbol. Very important. Remember, if you overbuild a house for the area, that's on you. Okay? So the condition of the home is very important. We cannot move the location of your home because you know what? At the end of it, it's always location. An overbuilt home in an ugly area, you're never gonna get top dollar. You'll get good money, but not top dollar. You can't compare to a home in a better area. Condition of the home, accessibility. If we list your home, do you have any pre-planned vacations? Are you going to be accessible? And explain to them. listen, I need you to allow me to show the home, because what happens is, have you guys seen the home? What happens when you're looking through the MLS and you see a home that has very limited hours for showing?
Skip over
You
it.
skip it over it. If it's complicated to show, you don't show it, yes?
Yes.
There's no, if I'm gonna show Saturday from 9 to 12, and it says only showings on Monday night, I promise you, I'm not that agent to go back on Monday night. Some of you are good agents and will actually go back. I am not one of those. I will not go back. I'll be like, you find your good house.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's, so talk to your sellers and say, listen, we need to make this home highly accessible. We need to make it highly accessible. If you're gonna sell it, I have a party next week, okay, then let's list it after that. Like, it's so important that we remember that graphic that you all should have in your presentation that shows that the home is only high the first 3 weeks. Week 1 to 3, and it peaks down the interest after week 3. So our goal is to get an offer right here, because if not, the likelihood, especially in this market, is gonna go less and they're gonna get a lower offer. So we need to make sure your home is accessible, accessible, accessible. Well, I don't want to show it during the day. I work from home. Okay. Is there anything you can do to show it? Like, there's not that many people looking right now. It's not like there's 50 showings. So whenever we do have a buyer, Miss Seller, I need you to accommodate the seller of the home, please. Accommodate it. And whatever has to happen, we need to show the house if they want to see it. So explain that to them. It's crucial, crucial, crucial. Weekends too. Okay. Weekends accessible, make it accessible. That's how the home too, because sometimes the home, just by not being accessible, it diminishes the amount of buyers. And you have to explain to them, listen, who's really gonna buy your home? Your home is a 2-story, so seniors are not gonna buy it. Or your home is in a HOA, or your home has solar, or your home has a high tax rate. Like I can't believe it. I sold my house in Carter Court, you guys. I cannot believe I sold the house. Like Jesus, I finally closed it and I sold it for 6,000 above market. Okay, I did. Look at their face. They held it. I did though. Yeah. Hey, I can't believe I sold it because that house is here in Johnson, or it has a 2.4 in tax rate. Whoa. Yeah. And I sold it for 566, and it has an HOA of 180. Okay. And they obviously I'm the listing agent, so I told Gladys, what was the buyer payment? The buyer payment on that 3-bedroom house in the Johnson was $5,400.
And it has no backyard. No backyard.
Zero. Not even a yard to put a barbecue.
No. Sounds like a great steal. I'm just kidding.
But I am so good because I have a thing where I sell on my listing. This one was like I live on the beach. Right? I had like monkeys outside. I was this close to doing a full dancing show outside the house. Like I was a dancer. I was gonna do anything. And it didn't work. Cultural car wash, everything. I was gonna go whatever, anything, and it didn't work. I literally said a toy drive, something, nothing.
You missed her delay, nothing provocative.
Yes. I missed her. 150 days in the market. And I sold it for I sold it for 560, 566.
And where did the buyers come
I was
from?
so nice to the agent, Jennifer, let's send them flowers, let's send them baskets or something. The agent, Luis Jargon, I said, how'd you convince these people? He said, so I said, I have to know why are they buying it?
Yeah.
And like, I want to know. And you know what? They're just, their payment was going to be the same for a condo in Orange County.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, this is a house. It is a really beautiful house. So.
I'm like, Orange County, I'm like, it win-win.
You know what I mean? But you guys, this agent, if he would have shown them the inventory, he would have never sold them the house. He literally just got lazy because I told him to take the offer. I was like, and he just sold them that, showed them that one house. That's how he sold it. I got lucky that he was lazy. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no? It wasn't my amazing skills. It was like I got an agent to show one house.
Thank you for doing camera. So give your round of applause.
Thank you.
So remember, so condition, accessibility, the price and exposure. So if a home does not sell, Miss Elena, if your home does not get an offer in the first 2 weeks,
yes,
I'm gonna come back to you and we need to have a conversation because something is wrong here. Something is definitely wrong. So either the price, either the condition is off, and we can't change the condition, right? No. Have we shown the home as much accessible as possible? Yes. So it's either the price or it's either the exposure. Remember, Mr. Seller, the only reason you're hiring me is for exposure. You control the condition, you control the accessibility, you control the price and the exposure. And guess what? In 2 weeks, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you everything I'm gonna sell your home. I'm gonna show you the Facebook ad. I'm gonna show you the open house sign-in sheet. I'm gonna show you all the calls I made. I'm gonna tell you how I'm exposing the home. Because guess what? You're not gonna fire me because you hired me for exposure only. I have no control. So something is off, and what do you guys think is normally off? The price. It's always the price. It's always the price. Understand? Got it? Yeah. So this is your case conversation. Yes, Lashonda?
So when you say in 2 weeks, if we don't have any offers, is that the previous market or is that the current market?
Even in this market.
Even in this market.
And even in this market, because the house is only going to be hot the first 2 weeks. Okay? So I would rather price that way, the longer home sits there, you think they're going to get a higher offer or lower offer? Lower. So if you're going to guide your clients correctly, what are you going to do? Your goal is to get it sold the first week, period. Motivate your clients to, hey, Mr. Seller, let's price it at a price that's going to cause it to sell. Got it? It's going to cause it to sell. So your case conversation is condition, accessibility, price, and exposure, period. Got it? Yeah. Any questions? All right, here we go. Next.
No, wait. We're not done yet. Thank you, Sophia. All right. Woo!
Thank you.
Where we at? We're in open escrow, right, for this class. So really quick, we're gonna wrap it up. Let's bring Elena back up here to round of applause.
Important to know this stuff because we can get this emailed over to you. And it's basically just when you're opening an escrow for your sellers, send them a congratulations email and highlight all the important dates. Like the acceptance, when the buyer's earnest money is due, when we have to deliver the seller's disclosures, when the property investigation contingency, when the appraisal contingency. Send that all to them in an email, and I have a copy of that can get emailed over to you. And every week, when you do your follow-up call to them, you want to let them know what to expect that week or what important date is coming up. I always put contingency dates in my calendar as an alarm, so I'm on top of the contingency removals. And I think lastly, just keeping your clients updated and before you close escrow, ask for a 5-star review.
Yes.
If you look at my Google, my business, I have, I think, close to 50 5-star reviews. So ask for it before you close escrow. Because what happens when you close escrow, then you ask for it, they're focused on moving. Yeah. And it'll take forever. You don't want to chase down your review.
You really
don't. Do it within the week before closing is perfect.
And they're stressed. Who has moved here yourselves? It's stressful as heck. You're dealing with having to set up your electricity, your light bill.
Remind them that escrow instructions are going to get sent to them, and tell them don't sit on them. I've had clients that sit on their escrow instructions and don't get them back immediately, and then like a week before closing, escrow says they still don't have the seller's escrow instructions. So, and if they have questions, have them contact escrow, not you, because you don't want to guide them through that. You want escrow to handle.
And the same way you wouldn't want to ask the lender questions.
And I mean, all this information is going to help you with getting more referrals.
So throughout the transaction, you keep in touch with them on those important dates. You send an email with important dates.
I send an email and then I back that up weekly with weekly phone calls.
So you have
and then I tell them, I said, please allow me till the end of the day, Monday, to get it to you because I'm busy. I'm calling my top 50. I'm reaching out to people. So don't expect a phone call Monday morning. I have people, what's the update? Monday morning, I'm like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So tell them, allow me till the end of the day to get you the update.
And then after you close the transaction and sell their home, do you do anything?
Yes, I set them up on a campaign. I send them, I think first week out, I have to double check.
Yeah,
of course. But I'm sending them notes. I send them a happy anniversary wine. So I'm reaching out to my clients at least 4 times a month.
Wow. You guys hear that? That's how she's built an incredible business to business referral, and your team is crushing it right now. And you guys, she's taken over, how many units listed so far? Like over 15?
At least, I don't even know.
It's over 15,
Yeah.
like the last we checked, personally. Just, and doesn't include her buyers, you guys, just over 15 listings. So, they, listen what she said. Awesome, well, thank you. All right, guys. Thank you guys for showing up for yourself. And I don't know what time. Thank you for showing up on Zoom. Have a great day.
Sent out birthday
$200.